La da 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 da. La da 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 da. There we go.
What song is that? You keep doing that, and it's reminding
It's
me
that
of some
stupid
song.
La da 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 da. Skid doo 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 doo.
What?
Loving
Oh,
you is easy
oh,
'cause
that's what
you're beautiful.
I thought you were singing la da da dee da 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 da.
No, that's a little newer. That's in the '90s, I thought.
Dude, when I was in union school, there was just like the most not lazy Puerto Rican guy I've ever seen. And when he get excited in union school, he just started singing that. Like they'd be like, "All right, today we're gonna make a 4x4 air duct. You have to bend it this way." And like as soon as he started building his project, la da da dee da 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 da, he started singing.
Like, did he sing it sarcastically, or did he like you just? That's what his trigger was. He would go into that.
No, he would just go into that when he get excited.
Imagine that dude fucking beating off in the bathroom.
Yeah, his name was Maldonado. He's like, "Maldonado, you got an A." La da da dee da 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 dee da.
I guess it's better than if you were just be singing fucking Scatman every time.
That's the best way to eat pussy. Starting off with that scat man.
I bet you Scatman used to eat crazy pussy.
Yeah, dude. Like, all right, today I want you to sing. I don't know. I can't even think of what's a fast fucking song that you can scat to.
Twista.
Be my lover, be my lover. Oh yeah, Twista, fucking that one hit wonder. I'm the fastest rapper in the world. Cool for like 1 month and then he's gone.
Remember, I recently was playing like old fucking Tony Hawk games,
Yeah.
and some of them had great soundtracks. I thought they had pretty good.
Oh
soundtracks.
yeah, it had awesome soundtrack.
But do you remember this one song?
Hey, put it this close.
Bus driver. I'm just here to hold your hand when you die. You know
No,
what I'm talking about?
no,
And
no.
it was like fast as shit, but it was mostly completely incoherent. It didn't make any fucking sense lyrically.
Oh,
But it was on there, and it was like this little flute, and it's just a fast ass dude talking, and that's another one of those songs that they wrote that song and then disappeared.
no, you know what I have on my iPod to like if I'm having if I'm down in the dumps early in the morning. Do you remember Venga Bus? The Venga Bus is coming and
Oh my God.
everybody's jumping.
You got the 2002 fucking greatest hits album.
Yeah.
That's followed by I'm blue da da dee da.
You imagine if they use that song like just for tongue in cheek, like in the middle of Speed, the movie. The Venga Bus is coming and everybody's blowing up.
Throw off the entire ambience of the movie.
Yeah. Dude. You can't, Keanu Reeves. Why do you have this song on?
No.
Anyways,
Stop.
this is Wild Phil's Osophy with your host, Wild Phil, and the Cuban Joe Pesci, as I call Carlos. What do you call me? The paranoid Polak?
Paranoid Paul, definitely.
Paranoid. What makes me so paranoid? I'm not paranoid right now. What is it?
Well, I remember a few moments.
A few moments. We will get to that, but before that, is anything new with you? Anything new this week? No.
Not a damn thing. Got a buddy of mine who started working with me. Yeah, there's something really fucking new, man.
Nothing new.
No.
Well,
You know what I've been doing? I've been watching stupid reality shows.
yeah.
And you ever seen Undercover Boss?
I think so. Yeah.
It's like they had these like major companies,
Mhm.
and they would have like the fucking boss just put on some Joe Dirt hair and fucking fake tattoos, and then go into the workplace and fucking like in disguise and see how his employees are really acting.
Yeah.
And I went down a fucking rabbit hole just watching these, and they had obviously different businesses. They had Build-A-Bear, and what happens in the show is that they'll pick 2-3 different locations,
Yeah.
and they'll set them up with a person, and the person always has some kind of backstory, like, actually I got a get into college, what I really want to do, my passion is cooking or whatever, and they would fucking at the end of the show reveal like, well, here's what I'd like to do for you, and then they would give them like, here's a $5,000 this and a fucking $40,000 to do this, and like, you know, that was like the fucking moment at the end. But they got to one episode that was the fucking mayor of Gary, Indiana.
Yeah.
And basically in the show they had to these trucks that they would drive on the beach to clean up the beaches, and that place is such a shithole that their fucking machine got repossessed for lack of payment.
Dude, being the mayor of Gary, Indiana is like being the tastiest chunk of shit in the bottom of a toilet. You
Like
know,
being
like,
the prettiest Denny's waitress.
yeah.
So, well, what ended up happening at the end of all the shows, the CEOs always come forward and they're like, "What I'd like to do is give you, $40,000 for the 20." Gary, Indiana was so shitty that at the end of the fucking show, the one dude who had been working for like $11 an hour for like 15 years,
Yeah.
she gave him a 2% raise and like a fucking like $200 or $300. So that means that
Yes,
Build-A-Bear
Massa. I
has
appreciate that.
Build-A-Bear has more capital than the fucking city of Gary, Indiana. The gifts they gave were shitty. They were like fucking Chili's gift card or some shit. I
Oh,
recommend
God.
you watch it because it's fucking ridiculous.
Fuck, man. Yeah, I don't know what to say. But that reminds me, because we kind of like rushed through the last work episode because you just mentioned that gift card shit. So here's another. Remember how I said I worked at Jewel before, the grocery store?
Oh, I remember.
Dude, so here's some other shit. I recently, some other goofy shit that I did that I was working at as a cashier. And so recently, because I'm in a welding shop, I had to buy new boots. Because welding fucking boots, they got like this flap on the shoelaces so they don't burst open like a fat chicken fishnets,
Mm-hmm.
because all the sparks, they go on them, you know? So I had to get new boots, and I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like all week, my back hurts, my feet hurt. I was like, I don't know what the fuck happened. And I realized that these new boots, I didn't have any soles for them. So that reminded me, dude. So I was working at Jewel, and they were training some new stock person, right? Dr. Scholl's soles are the shit. I wish they fucking sponsor us, because I'm gonna give a fucking commercial right now.
There you go. Go for it.
Dude. They okay. So one day they had a trainee stocking the shelves, and I think they're like $15.60, right? And they always were around that price. So they're stocking the shelves, and I remember I bought like 2 pairs at the time, and they're fucking awesome. It's literally like sitting down. It's so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there at the cashier. It's slow, and I look over. I'm like, what the fuck? Somebody fucked some shit up in the system with the barcode, and they missed a 0. So instead of $15.60, they were $1.56. So I'm sitting there like a scheming Pollock, and I'm just like, well, I'm not going to tell anybody. And I go to the manager. I go, can I go on break real quick? I have to buy something for dinner, I bought 50 of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Literally
Yeah.
all of them. They had to restock it after I was fucking done. I figured like normally I bought 2 pairs, which with tax and everything rounds out to around $40. So I'm like, all right, why not buy $40 worth of the $1.56 ones? And later on, they found out, they're just like, Phil, we saw what you did on break. Can't fire you. Not illegal. Very, very sneaky. So what I didn't realize is like, since this was like in 2009, since 2009 till now, I have like 20 pairs of shoes that had all these Dr. Scholl's.
Dr. Scholl's inserts.
All of them. So now I realize like that's why my new boots were fucking killing my back, because those soles. So buy Dr. Scholl's soles.
I remember you coming with those. You fucking had a stack of them. You had a bag in the fucking back, and you're just like, you need some insoles, like a fucking drug dealer. Hey man, I got those insoles. I got these cheeseburgers.
Insoles off the street, man. They fucking calloused ass skin. They're sunburned skin. They're organic.
Oh man.
But So, anyways, dude, I was gonna wear sunglasses today because I got welder's flash. You know what that is?
Isn't that like you see the little like light the whole time? Like you see a light in front of your eye?
It's when a fat obese welder biker flashes his tits at you. And
There's
then
that
you,
too.
yeah, there's no, yeah, I seen the spark too much, so like my eyes are killing me. But they got better because I wore sunglasses all day. I Ray Charles it today, but
Clothing like this.
we gonna do some Mig or Tig today? What's that song that they sing
Which one?
in spacious skies, America?
Oh, the
America.
the patriotic songs.
Yeah, in Sandlot when they're at the 4th of July.
Yeah.
I was just singing that.
America, sweet America.
Goddamn shit is grace only.
Yeah. Yeah. I fucking haven't seen that movie in forever.
Oh
I used to
man.
watch that when I was a kid all the time.
So,
That movie actually made me believe that different shoes can make you run faster when I was a kid.
oh yeah, the PF Flyers, a fucking rip off of Converse.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I got to tell you a fucking hilarious update that I saw, because this is some crazy Polak Wild Phil shit. True story. So my mom died like 2 months ago, and we're going through all her shit. She had all these photo albums. My mom, like, such a fucking narcissistic thing. She had a photo album and a video for every year of our life. Every fucking year of our life. Just like up until we moved out of Chicago, because that's when shit started going down.
Yeah.
So I'm going through these photos with my brother, and my brother's like, what the fuck is this? Oh, and by the way, I will post it up on YouTube for y'all to look at. I see this photo. I'll show it to you afterwards, but it's on my phone. I see this photo. It's just a blazing van on fire, completely in flames. Like it looks like that scene in Terminator 2. Ah! Judgment Day. You know, what the fuck was it? August 1996 or some shit?
I don't remember the date, but yeah.
Well, so there's this photo, and my brother's like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I never told anybody about this. So here's what happened. My little fucking... So my parents didn't give a shit about me. So my babysitter was going outside causing trouble or watching movies all fucking day. It was the 90s, the peak of action movies. I don't think anybody can argue with that. It was the fucking best of action movies.
Arnold, you had fucking...
Stallone.
All the guys, yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Van
Even-
Damme. Sylvester Stallone.
Ugh.
No, what the fuck is his name? Steven Seagal.
Oh, yeah.
Way over the top fucking asshole.
The deadly ponytail. But,
Yeah.
so... I'm chilling at home. So what I used to do, I had a neighbor who was a Bulgarian contractor. I think everywhere else around the U.S. it's just a rapist van, but because of the Polak population, it's like, oh, that's a Polish contractor. Don't worry, you don't need to hide your kids. So this neighbor of mine, he would always leave it open, and me being a little kid, I was like, yeah, cool, let's play pretend drive in his van. I would go in there. I think I even tried his cigarettes and shit. And I was like 12 at this time. So one day, I'm just chilling at home. It's starting to get dark. And it was one of those weekends where I was just going to be lazy, you know, watch fucking no cable Shotgun Saturday WWF, you know. And I'm chilling at home, and I'm like, you know, it'd be really cool from all these action movies. I'm like, because they make it seem so easy. I'm going to try and hotwire this guy's van. So my 12-year-old ass goes into this contractor van. I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh, nobody can see me because it's fucking dark. I'm like, I live right next to a forest preserve field, so all of like the local parks soccer practices were in front of my house and shit. It was literally, I was like the last block, and then there's a field. So they're kind of parked on the field. So I go in there. I'm like, nobody's out, and I'm just ripping wires out of this dude's fucking dashboard. It looked like you know how they say like those wires are made out of soy, so like raccoons chew through them and shit.
Yeah.
It looked like a fucking raccoon on coke, just had a buffet underneath his dash. And I'm like, God damn it! I'm pressing all these wires together, thinking it's just supposed to start like the fucking action movie. Nothing's happening, and I'm like, fuck! What the fuck is this? So I'm like getting ready to leave. God, this cigar is going to be a pain in the ass for the listeners. But anyways, so I'm getting ready to leave. And I'm like, wait a minute. My action movie, like, senses are going in. I'm like, but we got to get rid of the evidence. My 12-year-old prints are all over this. I'm going to go to prison, and I'm going to be on Scared Straight, and some scary black guy is going to be screaming at me and raping me in the ass. So I'm like, well, got to get rid of the evidence. So I'm like trying to start a match, but it's burning my finger. Because he had like one of those, those free advertising boxing matches. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The ones that would give you if you went somewhere.
It was like cheap cardboard ones.
Yeah.
So I keep flicking it, and it's like burning my finger, and then it goes out. So I'm like, fuck this. I seen this somewhere, and I light it, and then I light the whole box of matches on fire.
Yeah.
And then that burned my hand even more, so I threw it, and it lands right on the fucking passenger seat. I'm like, oh, okay, this will get rid of the... Like, this whole time, I'm thinking, at 12 years old, I'm like, wait, this is a contractor van, so it's nothing but tools in the back, so it's going to burn all the evidence in front, right? I'm not even thinking about the engine. I go in the fucking house, and I'm like, all right, job taken care of. Challenge completed, And I'm like, I literally forgot that I did that. Fast forward 2 hours later, my mom's like, oh my God, look outside. The whole fucking car is ablaze. The engine's ready to explode.
You're sitting there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'm just like,
you have in there?
I'm like, there's a car on fire? What do you... I literally didn't remember. I'm like, oh, fuck. The whole box of matches. So, and then I'm like, I had this, because Rolling Stones Records was right, so I had I had these disposable cameras for when I meet bands. So I go outside and I take a picture of this with my disposable camera. And like, so the funny part is we're going through these fucking photos, and my brother's like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? You want to get rid of the evidence, so you go outside and you're like, oh, I got to take a selfie. It was fucking hilarious. Oh my God.
It sounds like something that would have happened in your life at some point.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It reminds me, remember that fucking car that you had that you bought off my uncle and my cousin?
With a Tercel?
You blew the engine.
All right, let's go right into this. Actually, we'll say that story. Let's talk about the origins, because that's what this episode is about.
Yeah.
This episode, Carlos is literally my best friend. We've been friends for fucking, 12 years?
Something like that.
And so where did this all start, right? I got to say, so I'll start off with, around 2000, I think 2009, I came back from Eastern Illinois. I was at college. I fucking hated it there. I dropped out like junior year because I couldn't fucking take it anymore.
Yeah.
So I get back home, and I didn't have any friends, 0 friends, couldn't find a job anywhere. So I'm just fucking off and like calling any old friends' numbers that I had from years ago. So I go with my friend to, it was, what the fuck was it, Qphoria? It was a billiards place on Grand.
Yeah, over in River Grove.
Which was sketchy as fuck.
I think it's still there.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No? Okay.
But it was sketchy because it was like the only all ages pool hall,
And they would definitely sell liquor to kids.
Let's just say if I was a pedophile, I would fucking all you can eat buffet there, But yo, kids, you want to go shoot some balls? Let me show you how to queue up. Set them up.
I'll show you how to play with them balls. But yeah, that
speaking
place
of
was,
putting balls in the left pocket. But anyways, so I'm at this fucking billiard hall, and I'm like, I was still going through a horrible breakup since high school. It was like a first love. I was not over it. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Like where you're just like, every song reminds me of her. You're fucking listening to like the VeggieTales song. You're like, yeah, she used to like that too. If you like to talk to potatoes. So I'm just heartbroken. And then my friend, he goes up, like my friend that I was with there as Kid McCurchy, he fucking cheated on every girl he was with.
Yeah.
So he goes, yo,
did I meet him?
I think so. He looked like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes. He had like spiked blonde, bleach blonde hair.
Probably not.
Well, he
What was his first name?
Mike.
Yeah.
You do remember?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did.
And dude, side note, he was amazing at fighting. He was like really nice. He was a nice kid, really like uplifting, really happy, really jovial. But if you fucking fucked with him, I remember I was
We were gonna fight him.
yeah.
We went to go meet like at a CVS because he was being some kind of fucking asshole.
He was
And then
getting,
it's just-
he was talking to my girlfriend. He was trying to talk to my girlfriend and hang out
Oh,
with her.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was talking with Caitlin. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
But-
that one. Okay.
But what happened is me and him we had like a little fight club thing, and I was like, all right, out of 3, best out of 3. First 2 times he beat the shit out of me. He gave me a bloody nose, and then the third time I remember like before the third time, I did like some fucking nerdy ass research on how I could beat him, and I found out I like watched the UFC for the first time. I saw that rear naked choke.
Yeah.
I put him in that choke, and he didn't tap or anything. He just kept trying to punch me like in the back. I put him into a fucking seizure. Dude, fucking cars stopped. His ma came out, and he's just like flapping around like a fish on his front lawn.
He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. Yeah, don't worry about it. And I was ready to take off. I thought he died because like he wasn't breathing. Well,
You did a quick little dive down YouTube. I just
Yeah.
picture you being the rat from Ninja Turtles, watching and doing moves on the side and shit.
Yeah. This
Oh,
claymation.
crane kick. If do right,
Could
no
not
can
beat.
defend.
I could not beat my master Mike, so I trained in the sewer for 20 years. Finally, I learned the rear naked choke. But anyway, so yeah, I was with Mike at the fucking billiards, and he walks up to his chick, and I'm like, oh, he's got girlfriend number 5 in his number, and he walks up to me, he goes, no, that girl wanted your number. I was like, what? Because I was like, I don't know, I looked like shit. I was depressed as fuck. I'm like, wow, she wants, okay. So I started going out with Caitlin, and she introduced me to you.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. You remember the first time we hung out?
I wouldn't remember in detail. What I know is I had just, when I went to Franklin Park, my cousin Eric, and I live with Eric and Sean. Sean was dating Caitlin.
Yeah.
And I knew Caitlin
It's
through...
Sean Dudzak or what? Was he a punk kid?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sean... I actually forgot his last name. The only reason we knew Sean was because Eric went to a concert and met Sean, and Sean's like, I need a place to stay. And Eric was like not paying rent. So
Yeah.
at least he was bringing someone who was going to help me with rent.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, you can sleep on the couch. And he fucking stood with us for like 4 or 5 months. And then he brought JP around. He's the one that brought JP
oh,
around.
God.
So
JP was this tall, like, he was half black, but he basically
very
looked like a...
racially ambiguous.
He looked like those...
fucking nerd.
He was like eerily looked like a black albino, but
Yeah.
what was creepy about him is like he kept saying he's straight, but he was eerily flamboyant.
He was
fucking-
very weird. He had
like
some
wink-
mannerisms about him that were
He'd
like
wink
come
at
on.
people, or he'd like stare at your ass, and I don't know.
Well,
it
no,
was-
he would do like him random shit, and because those 2 guys were fucking friends.
Yeah.
All the time, I just remember they were always trying to be in the same room with their dicks out, in one way or another. Like one would go pee, and then the other one would just come. Like especially JP would come and just be like, "Yeah, check it out," and they would always talk about we have the same dick, it's the same one. We're like, "What the fuck are these guys?"
Yeah.
But the point is, before
Let's
this
join
guy,
forces together,
Yeah.
and we are Captain Planet.
yeah, they got their rings that they
They're docking together, you know.
their little cock rings, they match up together. Well, my cousin was the one that knew Caitlin's friend Ashley.
Oh
And
yeah,
at the time, I was like kind of talking to Ashley.
Yeah.
And we had a place, so they would all come to our place, and we had like parties all the time.
yeah,
And I don't know how, but they just associated JP on a regular basis. And then Caitlin started talking to Sean.
yeah.
And when fucking Eric and them, I went on vacation, they fucking got us kicked out of the house because they threw some stupid ass party where I came back and there was like a fucking knife in the wall. There was blood on the floor. There was like a plastic tray of those banquet lasagnas in the tub. I was just sitting there like looking at this trying to make sense of it all. They had destroyed my mattress. They
Hey, what
stole
kind of
my
a party
TV.
is without this spicy mustacholi?
I don't know at what point. I can only imagine that somebody cut themselves trying to cut the lasagna. They bled out. They put the knife in the wall, and then they just sat in the tub, fucking eating lasagna. I don't know. I don't know how. I couldn't even fathom how the fuck all this shit happened.
I'm just picturing an Italian chef there using cut the lasagna as a code
Yeah.
for fucking some chick. Oh, so when do you want to go in back and cut the lasagna together?
There was some kind of fucking train ran on some girl in my room. So my mattress was on the floor, and there was fucking blood on the mattress, and there was like somebody spilled fucking shit, like sticky shit off the ground, like drink, like it was like Coca-Cola or some shit.
Yeah.
I had money in the drawer. They took it.
It was JP jizz.
Probably, dude. That day, Eric and Sean got into a fight.
Yeah.
Like a physical fight, and then fucking JP guys came in and just fucking held him against the wall, and it's like, I'll fucking kill you or whatever. So they kind of teamed up on him. So Eric ended up calling his cousin Matt, who's like a fucking old school game banger, and he was threatening to murder JP, and JP was like, bro, listen, I didn't mean any problems. I don't want any problems. You know I love Eric. He's like a brother to me. Like, shut the fuck up. We've known you for 3 or 4 months.
Chill out, brother.
So when I left there, I went to Franklin Park, and I got that place. I actually moved back with my mom for a bit.
Yeah.
And then Caitlin would come by every once in a while with, remember that fucking chubby chick that she used to come with all the time?
No.
She had she had an obsession with me. I had no interest. She was a chubby broad. I used to hang out with her all the time.
No.
Okay, well, she brought her by.
Is that the one you banged that you were ashamed of?
No. I think the one I banged that I was ashamed of was way fucking worse than that. But I definitely, I had no interest in this fucking broad whatsoever.
Yeah.
And when she came by one time, I don't know what she was saying. She goes, "Oh, you play guitar. My boyfriend Phil's play guitar. I think you guys should talk because I think you might like the same music." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And you ended up coming up, and we were like bullshitting there, and we were fucking jamming. We are just talking about music. And then you're like, "Do you go to concerts?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, all the fucking time." And you had a show like this one's coming up. You want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think after a while, I think Caitlin got upset that I was hanging out with you, and I stopped hanging out with her completely.
Yeah.
Because she was like, "Wow, I feel like we used to be friends, and now," and it just came to me. I'm like, I honestly didn't really have any friendship with you whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was just associated with you because you brought Ashley, and I was trying to bang Ashley.
Yeah.
That's it. Other than that,
So, dude, I got to go into this. I'm going to tell this first story about how fucked up Caitlin was, all right?
Okay.
Caitlin lived in Franklin Park. Have you ever been in her house?
Yeah. She lived in that little brown house that was above. Like she had a big deck on the back.
Yeah, right next to fucking like 7-Eleven right there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
on 25th. So I just thought, I was like, I didn't know what to think of her. She looked like a stereotypical Elmwood Park, Schiller Park, Franklin Park Italian hoe. You know, the bitches who get.
Was she Italian?
I think she was like half Italian, half Mexican, but it's just like she just seemed like one of those, you know, they got that poof fucking ponytail, wear Ugg boots, go nuts when it's pumpkin spice season. Basically, the chicks now, you know, yoga pants and Ugg boots, and
NPC. An NPC.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I always say about Schiller Park is it's just dumb white people. All the dudes are looking to get into any fight they can. All the chicks are trying to get pregnant ASAP.
Yeah.
ASAP. And like, I just remember I was like, she's like when I started realizing it, hanging out with her family, I'm like, she's kind of like trailer trash, but I don't think they can afford a trailer because it was like fucking 10 of them packed in that fucking little apartment like sardines.
Yeah, because didn't she have like a brother and a sister?
Yeah.
She had one of each,
No,
right?
there was like 8 of them in there.
I didn't know that.
She was telling me how her sister and her would like share the couch like fucking Willy Wonka, where somebody's feet are in your face on the other side.
Oh my god!
So like
the fucking old family that's just sitting in that bed all day.
Yeah. God. I just sit in bed. We don't have money for heat. We'll warm each other up by our steaming pussies ovulating right now because we want to get fucking pregnant as soon as possible. So, anyways, So here's the funniest fucking the weirdest shit about her. Like she was a fucking freak in bed. Like I just remember.
I think you told me some shit.
Like that's the thing. Like I always hear people they say there's like 3 stages in girlfriends that you or anybody like boyfriends whatever. There's 3 stages you go through in sexual relationships. It's like first one is for first love. Like I said, you're obsessed with them and you get heartbroken. Second one is
Just doing
nympho.
nice things.
Yeah. Second one is nympho, where you like
I just want to get my shit out.
all you do
Oh,
is
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
You've got nothing in common. It's like you could be a fucking Klansman and she's black. You hate like other than in the bedroom, you fucking hate each
Right,
other.
right.
But it's just like you're strictly together for fucking. And then it's like you find the balance of both, you know, and sometimes any nerds listening, you don't even make it to stage 1, so fuck y'all. But anyways, because I was gonna go on a rant earlier, but
Oh, what?
should I just go on it now?
Go for
I was
it.
thinking of a new segment of where we rant on. Dude, I just fucking all right. Pause the Carlos Phil stories.
Shit, go ahead.
I just fucking hate, and I know I told you about what's going on with me at work, but I fucking hate overconfident nerds. Overconfident. I can't. You know exactly who I'm talking. Like
Like
This
a
is gonna be
very
like-
undeserved sense of fucking
yeah,
confidence that you
yeah.
have.
It's literally like taking a person who isn't privileged, and then you make them like you put them in a position of power, like a security guard,
Yeah.
and they're fucking cunts. And that's how all these, like I was just thinking. I was trying to make a bit about this about overconfident nerds are worse than criminals, because even coming from an ex-criminal past, at least a criminal is like, I hate my reality right now because I don't
Yeah.
have enough money and I'm not privileged and I'm trying to get out of this like rut that I'm in. So what do? I do crime so that I can have a better reality. But
Right.
nerds already have a good reality.
Just carrot in my ass.
Oh yeah. My cat rubs its ass on that all day.
Is that why it's brown at the tip?
Probably. He loves that's how he marks his turf. He fucking scoots on that carrot. Anyways, but nerds, it's like they already have an okay reality, but they're so not motivated that they look to video games and anime
Yeah.
to fucking like to escape reality. They're
Yeah.
not making the it's literally like
Those are the brave keyboard warriors of today, by the way.
yeah. I mean, do you know how many nerds I run into? It's just like they're like, oh, what did you do this week? Oh, well, I wrote an album, and then I'm coming up with these new bits in comedy, and I'm spending time with my kid. Oh yeah, well, I reached level 125 in every skill level in Skyrim. Oh,
Cool.
awesome. Let me know how much pussy that gets you. Let me know what that gets you. You know. So it's just like. By the way, this is not about Chris from our old episode because he's
No.
into video gaming. It seems weird. No, this is
Watching
completely
it right now like fucking asshole.
yeah. No. This is 100% about just people that I'm going like the guy that I'm talking about. He looks like a walking biscuit can. You know when you bust it, his belly's hanging out of it all the time, so it's just like a piece of dough hanging out. But
Just looks like the Michelin tire guy.
yeah, but it's just like, oh my god, I cannot stand fucking. Anyways, there's my rant. I don't know what else to add to that. I don't know what we were talking about.
Well, you were talking about
About Caitlyn being a fucking freak,
a freak.
right?
What are you talking about? The stages of
Yeah. Oh yeah, the stage. So, dude, I remember begging her. I was living at my mom's house, and Caitlyn would purposely slam the fucking headboard against the wall, like there's a goddamn like we're fucking playing laser tag in my room and just parkouring off the walls.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I don't know how the fuck I didn't. It was just hilarious. It was
Yeah.
fucking hilarious, and I can't tell you how many. So here's the part that I was gonna get to. That's fucked up. I think I might have told you, but so Carlos, he went out with Ashley. Ashley
No,
looks like
it's-
somebody famous. To give the listeners
we just fucked around.
to give the listeners an idea, she looked like somebody famous. I don't know who I can think of. Like
You know what? She kind of looked like what's that broad's name? That fucking.
you got to put the mic closer. Here.
Yeah, I was thinking what her name was. It was the chick that was on Even Stevens. Remember the fucking girl?
No.
Like a skinnier version of her.
I can't put my finger on it. Almost like, I guess like a Jewish Nev Campbell.
She
She might already be Jewish. so.
she looked like a weaker Julia Roberts, maybe.
Okay, yeah, that is a good like dark haired Julia,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
probably.
so here's what's
She had a
fucking
nice
lit.
ass.
Yeah, and she had huge tits.
She did. Yeah.
So my wife is gonna hate this episode, by the way. Like, but anyways, so no, what was fucking hilarious is like me and Caitlin are doing all this fucking crazy shit, and one day she tells me, she goes, I wanna spice it up a little bit. I'm like, what do you mean by that? She goes, do you want to have a threesome? And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Are you? Just immediately, my dick was like a doorstop. Brrr, I'm like, oh yeah, why not? Then I go to work with Joe, right? And he's like, what the fuck is with you? You've been working like a goddamn. I've never seen you work more efficiently this whole week. Are you like trying to get a raise or some shit? I'm like, no. He's like, so what are you so fucking happy about? And I'm like, well, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, I don't know. Probably shopping at IKEA with my wife. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm having a threesome, cocksucker. And he goes, okay, got a big head here. Did you even check who's it's with? And I'm like, oh shit. He's like, you didn't check who it's with? The third person, not only could it be a guy, but it could be a monster of a person, like just covered in scabs, acne scars, and fucking
Very visible leprosy.
yeah, fucking a mole on the edge of your eye, that is going to distract the fuck out of you during that threesome. You're going to be like, can I snip that off,
You imagine
Turn it into some guacamole.
sitting there with a little pair of scissors trying to fucking cut it off.
Phil, why are these scissors in this? Why these scissors?
Don't
No.
worry about it. It's gonna be freaky.
So I looked her up quickly, Ashley. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not too bad. This will be fun. And dude, I was such a like socially awkward Polak that the first thing Joe said, Joe's looking at this profile with me. This is like a 50-year-old biker dude. He's like, oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Look on here. It looks like she's Jewish. They suck good dick because he's like a. That's what he says right away. I'm just like, okay, I don't know about any of this. Like I know you've got many fucking years of racism under your belt. Maybe one day I'll be like you.
Called that one right.
Yeah. Well, so immediately Caitlin calls me like right after on Friday. She's like, so are we still doing this threesome? I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, I didn't know Ashley was Jewish. I heard they suck good dick. I didn't even like. I didn't know how to small talk about it, and I didn't realize I was even being racist or anything. God. So I'm like, oh yeah, I heard they suck good dick. So she calls.
Is this kosher?
she calls Ashley and tells her what I said. Like, oh yeah, he really wants you to suck your dick because you're Jewish. She's like, fuck that. I'm not fucking that Nazi. Fuck him. So I ruined.
She was extremely emotional for a couple of years there. She would lose her fucking. She would fly off the hinges for nothing.
So she and I tried to solve it with like trying to even out the racism and be like, oh, what? I'm a Polak, so I'm good at eating ass. I wouldn't be offended by that,
Yeah, you're Mexican. You guys work hard.
We eat cabbage, onions, all these stews that smell like cauliflower ass. So it's a compliment. What do you mean? So she was out, and I felt like shit. I was like, well, what are we gonna do? And she's like, well, we're still gonna spice it up, right? And I wrote a whole bit about this, so this will be in my stand-up. But I'm like, what the fuck do you mean by specific? She's like, can I call you daddy? I'm like, once again, okay. Oh fuck yeah, go ahead, call me daddy. She's like, so I'm like, that's all? That's how we're spicing it up by you calling me a different name? She's like, no, I'll surprise you. Wait till you see what I wear. So my fucking mopey Polak ass, I come home, take a shower after welding all day. I'm like ready to like. I thought she was gonna have like some Lover's Lane lingerie.
Right.
Bro. She comes over wearing like these her 12-year-old Powerpuff Girls pajamas. And I'm just like, this is I want to say this is really weird, but in the back of my fucked up mind, I'm kind of turned on. Just a little bit. So
why do they still fit?
But so I'm like, all right, whatever. This is what you want to do. And then she opens up the rest of the bag, and there's like these quadruple XL khaki cargo pants and a quadruple XL Bears jersey. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck is this? Is this like you used somebody's duffel bag? She's like, no, that's what you're wearing. I'm like, this is what you're into. I literally I look like part of Paul Wall's crew in these quadruple X
Yeah.
football jersey. You know, like you want
Like,
me to look
like you're a Make-A-Wish kid?
Yeah, you want me to look like a fucking like extra in a Wigger music video, you know? Yo, I'm wearing this shit and I'm banging her, and then in the middle of banging, I'm just like, holy fuck. These are her dad's clothes. And I'm just like I'm in the middle, like my dick is inside her while this thought comes to my head. So I'm just like, all right, we'll talk about it later. Finish up, you know. And I keep going, and then yeah, right after, you know, you get that awkward like after sex, like you wish there's a cigarette there, and you're like so you want to get something to eat. I'm just I like just laid it down right away. I'm just like, so you got molested, didn't you? And she's like, what? I'm like, why the fuck? Just tell me the truth. I'm wearing your fucking dad's clothes. What is this? This is fucking weird. You got molested. And she starts like bawling her eyes out. I didn't know what the fuck to do. But that's how that night ended. Like,
What the fuck?
and I was just like, you know, I'm like, this is so fucking. How do I like go around her dad again? Even if I didn't turn to anger and rage, like, what am I? Hey, you know that like how am I gonna small talk with him at barbecues? Hey, you know that cute little mole on her ass? Yeah, I bet when she shits, it looks like a baguette split right down the middle. You know, like
Give him a little shoulder. Hey, thanks for breaking her in for me.
yeah, God. Oh my God, it was so fucking weird. But so that was
That is yeah, that is fucked up.
yeah, that was one of the fucking last. It was about like a month later that I broke up with her, but it was because she cheated on me, which it was like a sign from God, like don't be with this fucking. And then the weirdest thing is like
It sounded like she was stressful.
yeah,
So,
and the weirdest thing is like remember how, like dude she was so fucking weird. Like you remember how I said like all those Schiller Prague broads, they just want to get pregnant as soon as possible, dude.
Yeah.
There were moments before sex that I like put a condom on the fucking like table on the side table of the bed. I'm like, hold on, I gotta go take a piss before sex. And she would fucking like, I came back, she'd poke a hole in it with a pin so that I get her pregnant.
Wait, you caught her doing that?
I looked at the grapper. I'm like, oh, this has a hole in it, and she just like giggle. I'm like, what the fuck? And I had to go get another
hell
one.
no.
Yeah.
Dude, you're lucky that didn't fucking happen with her.
I know, well. And then here's the most fucked up part is like, you know how you like, everybody does it. You stalk your old fucking exes like 10 years later. I looked at her profile like maybe 2-3 years later. She had like 3 kids. She's like 3-4 kids.
Yeah.
Like
so I ran
immediately.
into her years ago, but I ran into her at a like Chase Bank.
Yeah.
I was depositing a check, and I see her in line. I look at her side profile, and I was just like, I think that's fucking Caitlin.
Yeah.
And she turned around and looked at me, and she did like a fucking wide eye thing.
Yeah.
And then she just looked away. And I was like, Caitlin? And she like, hi. I was like, hey, what the fuck? How you doing? How you been? Oh, you still hang out with Phil? I'm like, yeah, I see him every once in a while. And then she just goes, okay. And I can tell that the reason she wasn't talking, I didn't realize this first, is her boyfriend's on the side with the kids. And she goes,
God.
That's my boyfriend. And I think, that's my boyfriend. I was like, oh, okay. Like, me and her never had any fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like, not even a connection. Like,
I think she tried adding me on Facebook.
no offense,
Right.
I never found her attractive in the slightest.
Yeah.
And I just thought like that was fucking weird, and I put it all together, and I was like, oh shit, you got kids? And she goes, yep. Like very brief, they didn't want to talk. I was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
All right, I'm gonna
Maybe
pause.
she thought I was gonna talk to you.
I'm gonna pause real quick because I gotta piss real fucking bad. So, you know what I just thought of that made me fucking laugh my ass off? Fucking so. When you were mentioning that, like when I first met you, I'm like, oh, do you play guitar? Do you go to shows? Mm-hmm. You know what it reminded me of? This is such a fucking Phil thing that made me like, because it's like a typical Gemini, just switching left, like flipping on you. I remember one of the first times I hung out at your house, I would see all these fucking hipsters with Lou Reed tattoos on their arm. And I was like, man, Carlos, why the fuck do you have that on your fucking wall? And you're like, what do you mean, Lou Reed? He's awesome. He's fucking great. Velvet Underground. You don't like that? I'm like, no, man, that's some hipster shit. Fuck, take that gay fucking poster down. Fuck that guy. And then like, I started hanging out with you again. You know, like 10 years later, and I'm like, oh man, did you ever listen to Lou Reed? He's fucking awesome. And you're like, you told me to take that gay ass poster down, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that fucking poster. You know what ended up happening with that poster?
What?
Remember that little party you threw at the house?
At your house in Addison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody took it.
Someone took it.
Yeah, it was in the room and it was just gone afterwards. So one of those cocksuckers actually took it. And that particular poster, I don't think I've ever found again.
Oh God, that's fucking hilarious.
But yeah, it kind of reminded me of, because I think it was you. I went to go, or was it you? I went to go watch the Dandy Warhols.
I don't know.
You know the Dandy Warhols.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think me and you like got into them around the same fucking time.
yeah.
And I think we went to go watch. I think they played with Secret Color, man.
Oh, it might have been. Yeah.
They were awesome. But they kind of had. They kind of. I found them through fucking Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
And I liked Velvet Underground. I didn't like Lou Reed's solo shit later. I thought it was fucking lame.
No.
But I liked Velvet Underground.
He lost it.
Run,
man.
run, run. Fucking.
All of Velvet Underground is great.
Yeah.
You know what I love too, though, is like, because this is like, so I'm gonna be the typical every white guy podcast talking about cancel culture, because it's fucking stupid to talk about. But you know what a lot of people don't fucking realize, like, who listen to like Velvet Underground. I read about this because I was arguing with a friend of mine. So I had this friend who played in a shoegaze band, and he was like being a keyboard warrior on Facebook because I was talking about how much I fucking love the Joker movie, and he's like, oh, the director he hates. He's like, this is gonna rile up the cancel woke culture or whatever. Fuck that movie. I'm like, fuck the whole movie because of what the director thinks. Do you know how many motherfuckers?
It's a great movie.
What about the guy who controls the boom mic? Maybe he's a Nazi. Like this guy was so fucking stupid. So I called him out on his shit. I'm just like, you're a fan of David Bowie, who fucked a 14-year-old boy when he was young. He was almost charged with statutory rape. And then the other thing was Velvet Underground. What people don't know. Here's a funny fucking quick little fun fact about Velvet Underground. So Velvet Underground, you know, they were around the 60s, 70s in New York.
Yeah.
And that was when like the whole Andy Warhol scene was fucking booming,
Yeah.
you know? And so because Andy Warhol, I think he was from New York as well.
I think he was. I'm not sure.
He was like collaborating on these little, you know, heroin-induced jam sessions with Velvet Underground. So it was sort of like, you know, you see those like 60s videos. It's kind of like the cut scenes in Austin Powers where everyone's dancing on like multicolored cubes and shit.
Yeah.
And like then there's a person like laying down body painted, you know? So they would have parties like that. So here's the thing. You know Nico? Nico the singer in Velvet Underground, the blonde chick?
Yeah.
She looks like Arnold with a wig on. And she sounds like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like I never liked Nico. Like I was like, I almost wanted to make like covers of Velvet Underground with Nico's just singing in an Arnold voice. Here she comes. You better watch your step. Sunday morning. And but you know what happened? Here so Nico, this is a fun fact, was a model in, I think, Norway. She was like a child model. So she's one of those broads that like they tell you have to be bulimic basically your whole life to keep your career, right? So something happened where like her career was going down to shit. Like she was like, it was the downfall of her career. So somebody contacted her. They're like, oh, hey, you know, here's this Andy Warhol thing happening in New York. If you go there and join this band, it might revitalize your career. And, you know, Lou Reed needed some heroin money.
Yeah.
So he actually like self-medicated with heroin because he was bipolar. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was seriously bipolar, which explains him going Kanye when he fucking went solo, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for all you bipolar people out there, because apparently now, due to Kanye, being anti-Semitic is a symptom of bipolar, right?
It is.
Yeah, so... But
David's bipolar. We should probably see if he's
tossed
a few things out
Christ.
there. Oh, damn Jews.
It's a mental illness. What? Oh God, I'm getting manic. They run everything. Anyways, so here's what happened. So Nico goes over to New York, joins Velvet Underground, and she was so fucking like, she's blonde hair, blue eyed,
Mm-hmm.
so she's super Aryan. And they even said that one day she fucking dined at some restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a black couple there, and this was like a rich ass fucking restaurant because she's like a model and all this. She fucking threw plates at their face saying, get these N bombs out of here. You don't deserve to eat here. Which is so fucking. They must have paid Lou Reed a shit ton of money, considering she was like pro Aryan race and he's Jewish. But that's a fun fact for anybody who likes Nico out there.
Yeah, I don't think I particularly give a shit about Nico.
Yeah.
And then Velvet Underground, I love their sound, but there were some songs that I felt were a little bit repetitive too.
Yeah.
They were just repetitive.
Do you know what they did that was interesting on some of their songs? You know how like some of their chords sounded weird? You know what they fucking did?
They tuned it off, didn't they?
They tuned. They did something where they I think it was either they put all of the same string on a 6-string guitar.
So all the same gauge strings? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I know there were a couple songs that they tuned really weird, and then I heard that they also they didn't take the time to tune.
Yeah.
They just played, and then and that kind of added to their sound.
Yeah.
So,
But
tune by ear.
So let's get to over Lou Reed. Let's talk about this Toyota Tercel.
Yes.
You can tell the story if you want. If it's up to you. I remember you had like a Geo Metro.
I had a Honda.
A Mexican's dream, because it was fucking spray painted, right? It had a spray paint job.
Gray. Yeah, it was spray painted gray.
It was like spray paint mate or whatever.
So funny, actually, how I got that car.
What?
Before that car, and it's like I guess a few weird series of events. I had a CRX, which is the smaller version of that car.
Yeah.
It was a very sought after car.
It basically looks like an 80s version of Mr. Bean's car.
Yeah, basically. A little more squared. But the car was... I bought it because Vidal bought it my brother-in-law bought it as a project that he was going to turbocharge and do all this shit, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He got around, he took one fender off, and then he's like, I'm going to replace that fender because it was rusted, and then he just never got around to it, so I had no fender on the left side. And I just drove his car because I could fucking afford anything. It was fucking $400. I took it, whatever. It was my car.
Yeah.
And I had that one, and I went to the Family Dollar that I ended up working at.
Yeah.
I locked my keys in the car, and then I went into the Family Dollar like I need fucking hangers so I can unlock my fucking door. And when I walk in, the lady goes, "Hey, you want a job?" I was like, "Sure." Goes, "Okay, start tomorrow." Like that, no interview, nothing. She gave a little cup so I can do a piss test in the back. She goes, "Oh, you're good." And when I get out, 2 businesses down, there's a dude that works there that has that car. He has the gray one that I ended up getting, and he goes, "Hey man, that's a badass car. I want that car." And I'm looking at it like, okay. And this guy, he had even friends that were telling him not to. He traded it to me outright. My car was missing a fender. The seat didn't have screws in the back, so when I would stop, it would literally fucking come forward like this. And then this thing was
like
a piece of shit.
Like when a roller coaster stops and you get like that.
The fucking seat would lift and go like that because the screws in the back weren't fucking in anything.
So if you actually got into a head-on collision, you just like eject like a fucking F-15 plane.
Basically, I would just leave with my seat and seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So he fucking traded me outright, and then that fucking car like was a huge upgrade from that other piece of shit.
Yeah.
But all those cars were stick shift. And I remember, because that's what I remember. My cousin had that car. My cousin was constantly buying cars and selling them, buying them and selling them.
Yeah.
And then you didn't know how to drive stick yet.
Yeah.
But
and you told me, you're like, oh, you save so much more money driving stick and on gas or some shit.
Well, no, if you drive it correctly, yeah, because it's less weight. But also, it's cheaper in general. Like, if your trans goes out, it's cheaper to fix that than to fix a fucking automatic transmission.
Yeah.
So you'll save a lot.
You don't want to blow a tranny.
No, you don't want to blow a tranny.
So,
but you I touched a little bit. I'm like, so you just do this, how to fucking do it. I think we did a little test drive, and then you go, all right, fine, I'm going to buy it.
yeah.
And within a week and a half or something, your car's fucking smoking because you were riding into a red line for so long.
Yeah, no, dude.
Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with this thing.
Dude, I just remember the funniest part about, like, the first funny thing that happened was I bought it. I bought it for $200.
I don't remember what it was.
I bought it for $200. A fucking car for $200.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know what a Toyota Tercel is, it's what's the opposite of a sedan, where it's only 2 doors?
Oh, a fucking coupe.
Yeah. So it looked like a sedan, but it was a coupe. And there was like, dude, it looked like there was a dead body in the back, like just soaked in the seats.
Yeah.
There was burns everywhere. I mean, there was nothing you could do to pimp this car out. The whole outside was rusting. There's a bunch of. It looked like Bonnie and Clyde got shot up in it in a fucking Tommy gun.
It was a red car, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was red, but it was more rust color with the amount of fucking rust that was on it. So what I remember is, I think I asked whoever I bought it from. Did I buy it from your cousin?
Yeah, my cousin.
Oh my god! I asked him. I was like, "Is there anything wrong with it?" And I think he said like, "Well, I didn't own it long enough to even know."
Yeah.
And turns out the fucking what is it like that cools down the
Radiator.
the radiator had a leak, so you just had to keep adding radiator fluid every time you drove it. So, dude, me and Adela's this chick that grew up with me on the same block as me. First, I wanted to go out with her
On the block.
on the block, right? But me and her would go to all these shows. We had a similar like fucked up childhood. We're both Polacks, so we bonded immediately on trauma.
And
like
music taste too,
yeah,
which is huge.
and she's just cool in general. She's an artist. She's quirky, and so we're on our way to a fucking show, and we're at this intersection. We're on like Milwaukee and Toohey, so there's like I think it was like a 4-car or 6-car intersection in Skokie, and there's just fucking smoke coming out of it. There's a fucking cumulus cloud forming fucking above us. Like it was, and I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck's going on? What's going on? It's burning. It's going to explode. And I fucking yelled at Adele. I go run and get some water. She goes to like this car's just stopped in the middle of the fucking intersection. Like there's cars going around it. Adele is running across the street with styrofoam coffee cups filled with fucking water.
Oh my God.
And we're throwing them in there, and I'm just getting like burns on my face from steam. It was fucking, oh my God. And I remember they just like a tower came, and I'm just like, oh, how much is it gonna cost to get it out? And he's like, probably $200. I'm like, all right, keep that fucking piece of shit.
That's what. But do you remember the Mexican couple, the girl he tried to sell it to initially?
No,
because it was fucked, and you're like, hopefully I get this shit off and sell it for $500 to this fucking Mexican dude.
He did.
And no, the guy came and he did all the tests, and I'm listening to him, and he doesn't know I speak Spanish, and he's basically saying like, this fucking piece of shit. He's just telling her like, no, this fucking piece of shit. And he's doing like the test, looking at the radiator. He goes, this got a bad radiator. He called everything. He went to the exhaust. He goes, I'm pretty sure it's got a blown head gasket. He was calling everything, and then she's just like talking to us in English, like, yeah, he's really good. He knows cars really well. And I'm listening like, yeah, he fucking does. He knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And he got through the whole thing, and he's just like, no, this piece of shit. You can say like, no, I'm not buying this piece of shit. And she goes, okay, yeah, we'll call you. We'll let you know, whatever. You were asking me like, what did he say? Like, he said it was a piece of shit. He said his radiator was fucked up. He knows, dude.
Oh,
he knows
man.
all this shit. Like, God damn. Trying to pull a sneaky one again, Phil.
Yeah, man. Dude, I just you know what I remember? One of the funniest things too was like when the first day that I got it, I go to my mom's house and I park it. Like you were following me home because you came with me to buy it, you know. So I needed you to like drive me there without a car, and then you came back to my house with me. You park your car behind me, and I didn't know because I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't know you got to put the e-brake on.
Start rolling
in a fucking in a stick shift. So we just look outside, like I think you even told me, you're like, yeah, you put the e-brake on. I'm like, yeah, it went into brake. What? And then I go inside, and my brother's laughing his fucking ass off because my car hit your car. And both our cars just rolled into the middle of the fucking street. There's just cars like they can't go around it. There's people coming. They're like, "What is there a block party going on here? What is this?" So what else we got on this list? What else? What other fucking crazy shit we got? How about the ass juice? You want to go into the ass juice binoculars? Fucking Knox.
Yeah, well, that's definitely one of the key paranoid fucking Polak fucking
paranoid
moments.
Polacks. Let's set up the situation. So we're chilling with this whole like Dago crew of chicks, basically the Wish.com version of Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
In Melrose Park. We were at what, a hookah bar?
Yeah, so this was fucking this was one of our other buddy David's girlfriend, and she always hung out with a crew of fucking good looking girls.
Yeah.
Honestly, so they somehow everybody
Stereotypical Melrose Park. Got an Escalade from Daddy. Says Italian Princess bumper
Money,
sticker.
yeah, exactly. Everything, all of it. Dad was definitely some kind of fucking mobster.
Yeah.
So there was a spot. There was a hookah bar that just became the spot where everybody went to,
Yeah.
and they would be there all the time. And I remember me and you. I think you were trying to talk to that one fucking that Alyssa girl. Remember her?
Oh yeah,
Little
yeah.
blonde girl.
Yeah.
That, like you were freaking out a little bit, but like you're still like I gotta fuck her, But
She had the hugest tits in the group, and the funniest thing, like how low confidence I had.
no, not her. The other one. That
Oh,
wasn't Alyssa, the little
Elisa.
blonde. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
was. And by the way, I'll tell you afterwards. But I saw her at Crossroads Bar afterwards, and I fucked with her. I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
So we go to this fucking bar and hookah bar, and in the back they had a laptop where you can play music, your own music on, and it was just like they turn off the lights and make it look like a disco scene and shit.
Yeah.
So they were all sitting there.
Like you're gonna fucking
Yeah.
pound to some Italiano techno while you got a hookah in one hand.
And it was like small. It was probably the size of this fucking basement. It was small.
Yeah.
And I just remember fucking sitting down.
I'm just you realize how ironic that is, just picturing a bunch of bros like, yeah, man, I'm pounding this girl and then just trying to chill out with some hookah.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah.
Fucking shit. This is
What
move the charcoal.
What are you, gay or something? What are you try? You're too relaxed.
But if you remember, everyone there was like a fucking gym bro, like a fucking
Yeah.
even the dudes were, and we went in there. We just didn't fit in. Like you came in there with your fucking leather, and I had my fucking.
Yeah, I was like
remember.
I was like a charged punk. I never washed my hair, so it would just stick up in every direction. Like I just fucking fucked up a circuit
Yeah.
breaker and touched it.
Basically, I remember going there, and I think me and you had the same temperament for like not tolerating stupid fucking cocksuckers like that.
Yeah.
And we
We had
this
nothing
thing-
to lose. We're in our fucking 20s. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck life. Yeah.
Yeah, I got in this, or you got, whatever what it was, one of those like fucking trick novelty stores. We got the little fucking bottle called liquid ass,
Yeah.
and it smelled
Look it up. It's on eBay.
putrid.
Liquid ass or fart spray. It smells like literal ass.
It smells like-
suspiciously like
It
ass.
smells like when you fucking have like your sewage is fucking backed up. It's
no,
terrible.
Dude, it smells like actual ass. If
Yeah.
you fucking put your finger on your butthole right now and smell it, it smelled exactly like it. They did a good job.
Yeah, and I forgot what we had done prior, but we had already used this on a few like little instances, and all it took was a fucking drop of this shit
Yeah.
to fuck up anybody's shoes. I put them in someone's shoes at some party. Remember? Remember that? I don't. So we'll talk about that too. That's what the house party we were at.
Yeah.
Fucking Maria. Remember Maria? Little goofy Maria.
No.
Okay, maybe you weren't there, but I fucking doused someone's shoes in the hallway in that because he was being a little fucking stain. But when we went there, some fucking douchey fucking like everybody there had their best button up fucking little shirts, and just one of those guys with the gold chains and open a little bit, so he had like that fucking straight dago like cool
Yeah.
guy fucking look. And I think he was just trying to be the too cool guy in the room, and he comes over and he starts initially like, who the fuck are these guys? Like talking to this girl.
Well, I remember I bought it, and I was like, dude, Carlos, you're not gonna believe this shit. Here, smell this shit. It fucking smells like actual ass.
Yeah.
And then and he's like, yeah, if you fucking put that shit around me, you're gonna have a hard time walking out.
That's what it was. And
I'm like, we weren't even talking to him. He was like 6 feet away from us.
no,
Like,
we were talking to Tina.
Yeah.
We were talking to Tina, and then I just remember like this guy. He already came off with this cool fucking Chad vibe. I was like, fuck this guy. Like he's like, hey, what's going on here? What the fuck? And then we're not even talking. We're talking to Tina. We're like, look, smell this shit. We fucking sprayed this and this and this. And she goes, oh my god, that's terrible. He goes, whoa, what's that? And you hand it to him like here, and he goes, it smells. He goes, oh, what the fuck is that? Why do you even have that? Let's just say if I smell a drop of that in here, you're gonna have a hard time getting out of here. And I just like stare. I'm just looking at this guy.
we
and
just look at each other.
I just look at Phil. I'm like, did that piss you off as much as it pissed me off? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, man, fuck this guy.
I'm just like, you ready to run?
Yeah. So I fucking went and while he was putting the music on, just fucking emptied the bottle and then threw it on the floor next to him so he knows where it fucking came from. But at the same time, he's there with all his fucking dudes. It's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. When we walk out, you're like, whoa, let me add one extra fucking touch. And he went and started putting pepper spray under the fucking door handles on the cars.
Oh my god.
So we're like, all right, fuck, let's get the fuck out of here, Phil. And we get, instead of fucking backing up, because this is the parking lot behind the building,
Yeah.
there was a grass field that led to the alley.
Yeah, and
then
there wasn't any of those cement fucking blocks.
Yeah, nothing.
So you
open.
just drove onto the grass.
So, well, if I remember, what I remember specifically, we're trying to get the fuck out of there because we know shit's gonna go down soon. So, when you decided not to reverse and go out the parking lot because maybe they're gonna come from there, just go through the grass. And when we get through the grass, we get stuck. And you had that. I just remember all these fucking dudes looking for every excuse they possibly could to just muscle up and take their shirts off. They're all there like, come on, we'll help them out, we'll get them out of there. So I'm thinking they're coming to fuck us up. They didn't. They're like, oh, come on, let's push them out, And the whole time, Phil's just pushing the gas, and I'm sitting there like, man, let's get the fuck out of here. And all these guys are just like, hey,
we
man,
got this.
How do you get these? How do you get those? How do you get your triceps like that? They're just pushing the car. One of the fucking dudes took his shirt off and his stable and pushing it. And the whole time, our dumbasses are like, please, just get the fuck out of here before these guys realize what we did. And the whole time, fucking Onyx was playing Slam! Da, 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 da. Let the boys be boys! They take off. That's what I fucking remember, just taking off. And Phil, you took this little elaborate fucking left-right turns, like, because they could follow us on these little streets. And we're like, fuck it, dude, we got out of there. Let's go back to David's, who was Tina's boyfriend. Go back to his house. And, got a little bottle of something we were fucking drinking there. And she calls David. She goes, I don't know what the fuck these guys did. Your friends. And Phil, they came over here. They said they sprayed the door handles, and they're going to call the police, and there's cameras, and they got everything on camera, and they sprayed this fucking ass juice on this guy or whatever. and we're just sitting there thinking, like, well, fuck it. Fuck them. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And you were also like, fuck them. What the fuck? Because, yeah, they said they had you on camera or whatever. And I could tell you sat there, like, probably thinking about it. And it was early, and you're just like, yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to call it. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. It's okay. Well, take care, man. And then you took off, and then you came back within like an hour. You're like, yeah, I went to the place. There's no fucking cameras. They're lying. I'm like, what? Because you had fucking staked out across the street with binoculars that you just happened to have in your car, like just hiding in a fucking distant bush, fucking surveying the area. Do they have cameras? Do they not taking pictures?
In
like
some fucking
like you're some PI or some shit.
Sniper bushwear,
Yeah, a helmet with leaves on it. And
Yeah.
shit. That's why I fucking call you Paranoid Pill. I started calling you Knox. I was like, oh, did you go over there and fucking look for cameras with binoculars? Yeah. It's like, oh, dude.
Like we're in the clear. We're in the clear.
Yeah, we're good.
I had these fucking binoculars that you know how they used to have the Marlboro Miles? You know what I'm talking about?
Was that where you were win shit with the fucking
yeah, when
packs?
when you smoke like fucking cancer's worth amount of Marlboro, you turn them in and then you get like a Marlboro fucking windbreaker or some shit.
Yeah.
My ma's old boyfriend, he had a Marlboro fucking pair of binoculars, and that's what I kept in my car. And I was like,
God.
I was like, yeah, man, we're in the clear. There's no
Why
cameras.
were those in there initially?
I don't even know why.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I might need them some. When I'm driving through a high school and I'm looking for some hot shit.
Like a 1970s detective
Yeah.
sitting in a car. We got our man.
Oh man. So what else I got on here? I got. Well, you told me about tearing down some thrift stores. Yeah. So I had a fucking anger problem, and I think you did as well.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay. So there's this one particular thrift store that was fucking amazing, and it was like what?
It was heaven for that.
It was like
Three floors.
It was 3 floors. It was the first floor, then which was like all clothes, and then the second floor was like the better clothes or some shit.
Yeah.
And the basement was all furniture.
Shitty furniture. In there.
Yeah. And nobody ever fucking went in the basement. It was such shitty furniture that nobody went down there. And nobody wanted to buy it. That's why they put it in the basement, because you're not going to carry out a bed bug couch up the fucking stairs.
Yeah.
That costs like $5. It's going to infest your fucking house. So I was like, yeah, man, Carlos, I'm pretty fucking angry today. Had a bad work week. Let's go to this fucking place. And we just go there. I remember we took Ross, right?
Did we take Ross?
I think we took Ross, and
I think we took him one time, but not the first time we went.
he was fucking paranoid as fuck because so we just went to this
you
thrift
guys doing?
store, and like you know what it reminds me? You ever see the movie Little Monsters?
Yeah, with the Howie Mandel. And
Yeah.
I remember that.
And you remember in Little Monsters how they're like fucking playing baseball with vases? They're just shattering fucking furniture.
Yeah.
That is exactly what happened. We'd go to this thrift store and just fucking we just went down there and we're with Ross. He's like, he's like, what are we doing here even? And I just fucking pushed into one of the fucking like library shelves, and they just started domino affecting. You hear mirrors shattering and shit. We're like, all right, man, I'm feeling better, and we just left.
Well, I remember taking one of those fucking round tables, the legs weren't on it, just fucking rolling it into the back room. Just hear it go. Slamming the shit in the back. But do you remember the time the Mexican dude came out from the back?
No.
Started breaking shit. And I think we're just taking books and just fucking launching them across the entire place. And I think that was the day that Ross was there, because I took one of the fucking little carts. It was like a little cart with wheels, and I just fucking kicked it, and it went straight to this wall, and it was glass top, and went. And then some fucking Mexican guy who was in that little dark hole in the back that you don't even know. I knew he was there. He goes, what the hell is going on? What the fuck is going on?
What are you
And
guys doing?
he was looking around. So I just fucking backed up and I went into this wardrobe and just closed it like Narnia. Just trying to wait for him to go. And you were looking at books. You hadn't realized this guy came out yet. And he's going through. He goes, what's going on? What's going on? Or something. And he's like, what? And I get out there like, let's get the fuck out of here, man. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Christ.
Actually, I think going there, we ended up finding a bunch of stupid, goofy ass shirts. Remember Rest in Peace, Ray Ray?
Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
fucking
shit.
shitty shirt we went to the concert in it.
Yeah, there were all these. They sold all these shirts that were like when somebody got shot in the hood, like in Inglewood
fucking portrait
or
of
in
them.
Bronzeville. They're like these airbrushed fucking. There'd be like the scummiest fucking photo of like some gangbanger. It's like R.I.P. Ray Ray. I remember there were so many good shirts I get there. There'd be like there's one I got. There's like retired but still sexy.
Yeah.
There's it was like. I don't remember. Like,
I actually did find a cool one. There was the Dillinger Escape Plan.
oh yeah,
That
yeah,
one's pretty cool.
yeah. But
You,
there's
you would find the gem in those type of fucking thrift stores.
not
They
anymore.
don't have anything like that anymore. Now it's
Not
all
anymore.
organized and shit.
The
It's gay.
fucking hipsters rake through it.
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking so I don't know if I told you, my sister-in-law, she's kind of like a vegan hipster and shit. So she told me and my wife about this. Like it was called a Vintage Fest. She's like, you got to go to Vintage Fest in Wheaton.
Yeah, you told me about that. I think.
And I'm just like, what the fuck, Vintage Fest? I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And I'm picturing there's gonna be like antique wood carved like fucking liquor cabinets, like shit that's from the 70s, bro. It was the weird. I thought I'd feel depressed because of what was there, because it was like we're getting old. But I was just freaked out. It was all like Zoomer kids, like kids like people like my kids' age, and it was all 90s shit, way overpriced. Like I walked in there, the first thing that caught my eye, it was the most basic ass Stone Temple Pilots shirt. It was just a green shirt, Stone Temple Pilots in an oval, and that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing on the back, nothing else. Just an oval Stone Temple Pilots. $120 for that fucking. I'm like, dude, I could fucking screen print this shit on my own.
Yeah.
But it was vintage. It was 90s vintage.
Vintage.
Then the next thing I saw was an X-Files movie shirt, $90 fucking dollars.
Scully on it.
Yeah, Mulder and Scully. The thing that I thought was cool though, they had a shit ton of like old Bulls stuff. So
Yeah.
they had like the 3-peat championship ring shirts. Then they had do you remember those fucking McDonald's cups? You remember those at all?
Yeah, the ones that have all the like the little cartoon characters on it and shit.
Yeah,
the glass ones.
No, they had the glass ones, but they also had the plastic ones where it was like Dennis Rodman with green hair. But if it's,
Oh my god, yeah, I remember those.
But then when you pour in cold liquid, it turns white. His hair turns white.
Yeah, well, I remember those cups. They was like one of those early '90s limited fucking things.
Yeah.
But they had the fest that I went with Amanda, the fucking hick fest out there.
Yeah.
There was a lady who was selling those glass cups that they had at McDonald's for a little bit of time, where they had different they had different characters on them. They had like at one point they had like Disney characters, and they had like Popeye on one of them,
Yeah.
and it was just like, but those glasses I guess are collectibles.
Yeah.
So this lady was selling them for like $30 each glass.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not buying those fucking. Because if you remember the fucking design on them, they would just fade after 2 or 3 times washing. Just fade off.
Yeah.
But I guess that was a thing. This lady was like, it's like she dedicated her life to fucking collecting these cups, and now fucking trailer mortgages due, and she's
Dude,
gonna sell them all.
Dude, so you mentioned Elisa, right? I got to tell this fucking story because this
Okay.
shit's fucking hilarious. So this girl, Elisa, like you're talking about Tina's friend. This girl, Elisa, this was like, it didn't really, you weren't there, but what happened is I remember David was so fucking pissed because I messed around with her and he was trying to, so let me, it was Elisa and I think her sister was like Amanda or some shit.
I don't remember her sister.
So to give a picture for anybody listening, Elisa, dude,
She was a cutie.
she looked like fucking Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
She looked
yeah.
like fucking Taylor Swift, but her sister looked like the body positive Kelly Clarkson, you know? And so like
I don't even remember her.
dude, Elisa was getting all the dick, and then her sister would just be like, "No, he's just trying to use you," like just jealous for dick, you know? So I just remember I remember one day she invited me to her house, and dude, she was totally mob family. Because you remember, you used to go to her pool.
She had the pool, and they had a little hot tub in the back.
And she lived in like a
the
fucking...
dad would like stare you down and like, what are you trying to do here, huh?
Yeah.
I remember that shit, yeah.
And she lived in like a fucking mansion, dude. She lived in a
Nice
fucking mansion.
place. What town was that?
I don't remember, but was it like Glendale Heights or what the fuck was it called?
Bloomingdale?
Yeah,
I think it was Bloomingdale.
But I just remember. So here's what happened. She invited me to her house, and obviously she wanted to mess around. So I'm just like awkwardly like, all right, let's fucking do something. So she invites me to her jacuzzi, and she's like, all right, but you have to go naked. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do? At least take your top off. And we basically did everything you could imagine besides bang. She didn't peg me. Sucks. But anyways.
We tried.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more romantic if she did, you know? I had a pretty tight asshole back then.
Hey, go in there, get some of that olive oil there.
Yeah. Would have been a fucking Willy Wonka chocolate jacuzzi. But anyways, I fucking, like, we messed around in there. And I remember I'm like trying to get to third base. I was like at second. And then, dude, I see a huge fucking Escalade pull up to the driveway. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? She's like, oh, that's my dad. Dude, I fucking grabbed my clothes. I booked. And I had to drive like an old lady all the way fucking home. Naked. It was the fucking weirdest shit in the world. Like, I never fucking... Do you know how hard it is to fucking, like, control car pedals butt naked? And I'm like... And dude, it was funny as fuck. I never, like I was a raging Polak. Like, I got into so many car accidents driving full speed. I never drove slower in my life. And it was just hilarious seeing the look on people's faces when you hit a red light and they just look over and they could see I'm fucking naked, you know? I'm literally trying to put my shoes on just to work the pedals. So I looked like that, like a shitty Pornhub DIY porno where he wears nothing but his shoes and like ankle socks. Oh my God, it was, oh Christ. You know what I got to tell you? So the last thing I got on our list as far as Carlos and Phil stories was like the fucking Woods fire. You remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember the fucking Woods fire. I don't even remember what we were doing that day.
We were
Are you talking about the Coyote Day, or just the fucking out of control day?
The out of control fire by Gene and Jude's.
Okay, yeah, that I fucking I don't know. We were gonna do something. We were gonna meet up with people at the Woods. I thought
we were gonna go to Omar's, and then we had nothing to do, so I was like, oh, let's just go have a fire in the woods. Yeah. And then right when we came to the woods and started a fire, is right when he called us. We're like, all right, we're fucking leaving. We get in the car. And these woods were right on the edge of Des Plaines River. It was on Des Plaines River Road. Yeah. So you couldn't fucking get a fire hydrant down there, or else it would like fucking landslide into the fucking Des Plaines River. So they just had to let this fire burn. It was like this, like half a football field size.
I pictured that every event that's fucked up like that, where something fucked up happens, someone's always gonna have to say, all I heard was Onyx playing, And then that's it. It's the Onyx fucking. It's the Onyx.
Yeah, can you
fucking
describe the
thing.
suspects? Well, there were two of them, and all I heard was da 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 zooming away. Oh my god.
The yeah, when we went there, we walked there, and we drove by there, right? We drove there. I think we actually ended up walking back to not have our car shown to see how bad it had gotten.
Yeah.
But I remember we went in, and what we normally do is we start a little fucking fire in the woods. So we started this, like, just try to get sticks that are 3 or 4 fucking inches or feet rather, and
Yeah.
then try to create a little like a little TP and start it up. And it was just a matter of time before it got out of hand because we were just dragging big fucking pieces and bigger pieces to keep the fire growing. And then your ass comes with basically a fucking fallen tree, like a whole fucking tree, and then just grab it and throw it on the pile. And now the pile is on the ground and out of control. and that thing starts lighting up, and then we get called. And we're like, oh shit, this is definitely getting out of control. So we fucking left. And then as we're walking back to the house is when we hear, woo, the fire trucks heading in that direction. And I remember looking at him like, dude, they're going in the direction of the fucking woods right now. So that's when we ended up driving back around, and all the fucking fire trucks are out around there. Like, fuck it, we're out of here. Smokey would be so upset right now.
Oh god. You know what else I remember? So like the best fucking hot dogs in Chicago, Gene and Jude's.
Yeah,
all right.
Jude's, yeah.
I remember so the routine was we'd always go to your fucking house, sit there and bullshit and listen to music for like till 3 a.m. or some shit,
Yeah.
right? So I remember one day it was like midnight, right? And I'm hungry as fuck. I just got out of work and I'm with Adela. And we're like, oh, let's go walk to Gene and Jude, see if they're open still. We're walking down the road, and it was like a heat wave that year. It was like 101, and it like went up to like 110. Dry as fuck, like literally just that feeling when you're in the fucking sauna and you're just like, you could
Yeah.
hear your heart beating.
Yeah.
It was that fucking hot, and we're like, oh shit, let's get these hot dogs and get the fuck back in the AC. While we're walking, I think it was like your neighbor 3 doors down. I look in the front lawn, and the whole lawn is just brown grass. And I'm just like, here, Adela, watch this. And I light the corner of it with my lighter. We go to Gene and Jude's, and we're like, fuck it, like let's eat inside because it's too fucking
this.
hot to eat this while walking. We eat it. We come back, and there's just a guy screaming, like, what the fuck happened? What happened? What is this? Who did this? There's just his whole front lawn is just black ash. It just spread through. And I'm like,
I
man.
do remember that.
I'm like, hey, man, this is good for your lawn. It regenerates the seeds,
Yeah, there you go, man.
It's like fertilizer.
What, do you have a problem with black grass or what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That wasn't there for that one. I was at the house, but I fucking remember that.
Christ.
Well, do you know that we and this is probably a little bit before I met you, or maybe I don't know. Remember we had fireworks and we're just fucking shooting them, the fucking cannons, or the
mortars?
Well, not just the mortars. We have a few of those, but the bigger bottle rockets,
Yeah.
the ones that would actually give you a light show in the sky, not the ones
Yeah.
that just went pop. We were just launching them in the direction to the street, and then I got the bright idea. I'm like, well, we're out here, they're gonna fucking see us. Let's go to my window, and just fucking shoot them out like bazookas.
Yeah.
So we took a hollowed out fucking broom fucking handle, put the bottle rocket inside, and just started aiming it and shooting it at fucking random cars coming by. And I don't know how, but at some point one of them I guess fell out. I'm like, oh fuck that one, and I made nothing of it. It was my cousin that was there, Chris, me, and someone else. I honestly can't remember. I think maybe Edgar. So I made nothing of it. And I just we stopped or whatever. Like, all right, this is getting out of hand. We saw the cops going back and forth. Like, all right, fucking leave it alone. So I fucking went. I took a shower. And when I get out, I go to, remember my fucking room was on the side, right?
Yeah.
Side by the bathroom. I look and all you see is a glowing orange light outside my window. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that? And I look out and it's just, I fucking open the curtain. It's just flames. I was like, oh shit. Because the one that fell hit the bush and set the fucking bush on fire. and as I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh fuck. I hear outside, oh my god, some drunk two blonde girls.
Yeah.
One drunk one fucking pulled up in front, and she was like pounding at everybody's door, telling me to get out. I was just like, just calm down. I'm trying to like really keep this shit quiet because it's gonna come back to me. Keep this shit quiet. So I was going out there with my mom's mop bucket with water and just trying to throw it on the bush. The fire department came. By the time they came, it was just a bush with smoke coming out of it. And he goes, "What happened here?" And I was just like, I don't know. I was taking a shower and I heard her, and then I saw fire. And the guy's just like, okay. Well, they found the firework in there, so we're thinking that it flew and it fucking set the bush on fire.
Yeah.
I was just like, it was like right around July. Like, yeah, some people have some like leftover fireworks. So, funny enough, like we fucking let it go, but the owner of the building somehow got involved in this, and he comes like a week later, and he just first of all he didn't like me. He was an asshole, and he goes, hey, what's up? He goes, you know anything about this bush? And I go, yeah, it caught fire. I guess it was a bottle
It was
rocket.
Moses in the burning bush.
Yeah,
What you're seeing is a biblical event right now.
Yeah, it's a miracle. Fucking people lining up in front of the fucking bush I set on fire.
It's the second coming.
Yeah.
Was it 2012? It's happening. It's happening. Right here in fucking Franklin Park.
Yeah, out of all places, right? He started talking about it, and I remember him giving me this look like, yeah, it's lined up with your window. I look at him like, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, I saw it. I was the one that saw it. I called, fire department. I didn't. It was a fucking drunk lady.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I know if I go up there right now, I'm gonna find fireworks or something in your room. And I'm thinking in my head like, no, I fucking got rid of all of them. I was like, really? You want to do this, dude? You want to fucking go up there and look in my room? And he goes, can I? I'm like, yeah, go ahead, motherfucker. Go ahead. And he comes up. My mom hates the guy too, and she goes, "What's the problem?" No, yeah, we knew about that shit already. And what's funny is my mom argued with the dude. He goes, you're fucking you have a problem with us, and there was always a problem with you. And then when we fucking moved there, we moved to Addison. I was talking to my cousin. I remember we set that bush on fire in front of the house. And my mom goes, "You motherfucker! You set the bush on fire!" I'm like, yeah, we did. We set that bush on fire. She's just like, "You motherfucker!" Like I fucking argue with this guy, and he was, fuck. Like, you're an asshole.
It's like, Mom, but if I told you I did it, you wouldn't do as good acting,
Yeah. Hey, I needed you to not know so that you don't go down with me if I do go down.
Yeah, if I told you it was us, you would have been like, your eyes going left and right. No, it definitely wasn't us.
So, actually, I remember who the other person that was there. It was fucking Edgar. I don't think you ever got to meet Edgar because we worked at a go-kart track together. But this drunk bitch is there. Oh, my God. Like, losing her mind. Her friend's like, the sober one, she's just like,
yeah,
it's fine. The fire department's coming. We're good. She's pounding on every fucking apartment door trying to get them out. And this is an isolated fire outside of a brick building. You're fine.
Yeah.
So the fucking Edgar right away is like, so what's your name anyways? He just started fucking hitting on her. He goes, nah, what? My name is whatever. Yeah, look, listen, you got to get out of here.
So, hey, girl, you like burning bushes?
I didn't tell you.
Because your bush is fire.
The window right downstairs, the plastic vinyl was just like this. Melted down because of the fucking fire.
It just looked like Joe Biden's nutsack.
It looked like a post-stroke fucking face. It was just droopy. I forget how cool this fucking couch was.
Right?
You ever talk about how we got this fucking thing in here?
No, man.
Go for it.
Yeah, dude. I fucking so we're setting up this podcast, and like I'm like, man, we got to go to Restore Habitat for Humanity. We got to get a good fucking couch, and I'm literally on the way to fucking Restore, and then I'm like, what the? You're
talking to me.
Yeah, I was talking to you about setting this up, setting this fucking podcast up, and by our luck, I see this whole fucking red couch on somebody's front lawn. I'm like, Carlos, you got time to move right now? He's like, yeah, you need a hand with something? I'm like, yeah, right now. We got a fucking couch. It's fucking great. And I pulled over. I talked to the fucking people, and I'm like, listen, it's garbage. You're throwing it out. So is there anything wrong with it? Is there fucking bed bugs? Is there anything? And they're like, no. There's, my wife, she's allergic to leather. Or allergic to pleather, and they told us it's 100% leather, but it's not because it's cracking all over the place, and she's sneezing like a fucking, like a goddamn, like the little seven dwarves, So I'm like, well, I can take it, right? You guys can hold it for me. I'm like, the whole thing works, the recliners, all that shit. So I quickly fucking rented a truck from Menards.
Yeah.
And then we go here, and like you got stuck while we're trying to move it into the basement because it's so fucking.
Well, you fucking left me there so no one would take it. So I ended up sitting there talking to these fucking like hillbillies, and do you remember if I told you that I told them like I gotta take a piss, can I go inside and use the washroom? They were like, oh, you know, like 1 minute I'm just a stranger here picking up a couch. Like, can I go in your fucking house take a piss too?
Yeah.
But
By the way, sorry
still
if this
didn't-
tastes like shit. Key lime.
no, this
water.
is fine.
Oh, all right.
No, you don't like the key lime ones?
I don't like it, man.
Oh, I like the key lime ones. The only ones I don't like are the hibiscus shit. Those taste fucking disgusting.
Oh.
It tastes like stale fucking tea if you leave it out, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the fucking this thing is fucking heavier than it looks. But I remember we put it in the back of the fucking Menards truck, and we're trying to also get it back so you don't have to spend more than the $20.
Yes.
So we're sitting here, and like I remember when you first looked at this out there, you're kind of looking at little like, yeah, man, it looks good. It's not that bad. Like it's this whatever, you know, whatever. It's
Yeah.
not bad. But you're looking at like this thing is great, and we're trying to fucking put it in there nice and neatly. By the time we got here, we're just kicking this motherfucker down the stairs
Yeah.
because the whole fucking back came off. Which I don't know how the hell you ever got back on. This whole fucking thing just ended up coming off the back and just sitting in the basement, fucking exhausted. This is supposed to take like maybe 20 minutes. We're sitting there an hour trying to kick this motherfucker down the stairs.
Yeah, dude, my back hurt all week at work from trying to fucking
Oh,
carry
yeah.
this couch.
Oh yeah, my fucking I don't know what it was, but something in my fucking forearm I must have pulled because I felt it the next day. But I just remember that we're making little details like, yeah, it's good. It's like whatever, it's just this, but it's fine. And by the time we got here, it's like fuck it, just kick the fucking thing downstairs. At this point, you have to rip up your fucking stairs, your fucking door, all your shit to get this fucker down here.
And you're like, Phil, you could have just gone to fucking Habitat for Humanity, bought an $80 couch, but instead you did $80 of damage to your whole fucking house.
Did
Probably
more than $80 of fucking damage.
That's what I got for my fucking cheap ass. So I got to tell you, we were talking about forest fires. This shit's fucking hilarious. I don't think I ever told you about this, but may as well while we're telling fucking stories. So I got into fucking metal in like 6th grade. I remember I remember I used to fucking like write. I was like a early computer nerd. So I was like the first to know how to burn CDs and how to mix CDs.
Napster?
Yeah. And I went to my local library and they had, which is my favorite for nostalgia, Slayer album, which was Seasons in the Abyss.
Okay.
And I just got into all this metal and satanic. The other funny thing was like I remember like because my mom's such a foreign fucking Polak. She's like you need to buy book to read 600 minutes to get Six Flags ticket. I'm just like, Ma, but I want to fucking read anything. Like there's nothing. These Goosebumps books are fucking cheesy.
Yeah.
Like I'm already watching, Saw movies, and you want me to read about some fucking goblin that's glowing in some kid's fucking closet, you know?
Mm.
So we go to Borders, and the first thing I see is a flaming church. I'm like, yeah, I want that book. And it ended up being an entire biography of Norwegian black metal. And do you know any of that history?
The Norwegian black metal?
Yeah.
No, I mean, a lot of the best metal bands come from fucking Norway.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what I know.
So I'll do a brief history, and it's fun. They actually, so the book is called Lords of Chaos. They came out with a movie, Lords of Chaos, on Hulu, just like 2 years ago. Every black metalhead fucking hated it because they're nerds. They're fucking nerds who they dress like they're going to a Viking battle, but they don't even have the strength to open a fucking pop can. So here's what happened. In there are all these fucking bands in Norway inspired by King Diamond and Merciful Fate and even like Venom. And what happened is this story is told so many fucking times, but there's this band Mayhem who is starting out like this blast beat, lo-fi cassette tape level black metal. Mm-hmm. And the singer's name was Dead. He was obsessed with fucking death. He was just upset. He was suicidal. They even said that he might have had some like brain injury when he was born. Yeah. So that's why they were talking about how like before gigs he would bury his clothes in like really damp soil so that so he'd walk around naked before the show and then put it on right before he goes on so that people were like, yeah, this guy smells like Norwegian soil. He really is from the dead. He's the fucking he's the crow busting out of the grave.
Yeah, okay.
So anyways, that guy ended up blowing his brains. And the band's like, well, we're metal, so we need to make this extra gruesome. "Don't call the police yet," and they took a picture of him with his brains blown, and that's one of their album covers. If you look it up, if you like Google Mayhem album cover,
Okay.
it's just him with his brains blown open.
It's kind of like a Nirvana.
Yeah,
Did they
except
take that picture too?
no, they
No?
didn't take that
Okay,
picture.
okay.
Courtney Love was too strung out. Had to get away from the scene. But Kurt, you used the wrong bullets. You're still breathing with a half coyote jaw.
Kind of speaking like Nancy too.
Yeah. But fucking so no, he blew his brains and the band used the album cover. So then there's this guy Varg who was obsessed with this band Mayhem. He was a fanboy. This guy Varg was obsessed. And the thing was the new guy in Mayhem, it's hard to explain, but I'm just doing it a brief injustice. But basically, this guy Arseth in Euronymous in Mayhem, it seems like from everything that I've read in fucking 6th grade and even this movie, he was kind of like, he wanted to sell out as soon as possible. He opened up a fucking record store. He was trying to like get as much attention as possible. This Varg guy was like, fuck Christians, because they completely destroyed all this fucking land in Norway and they built these churches on these pagan Viking grounds. Like they destroyed our culture. So Varg, he started his own band, Burzum. Side note, he was a Nazi in his teenage years. They got pictures of him. He's like this fucking just picture this skinny Norwegian nerd posing as Hitler in a mirror with a fucking swastika flag. Like he looked like, it literally looked like Napoleon Dynamite trying to be a Nazi. and then so he's trying to get in with Mayhem, whatever. And so when that guy blew his brains, Varg joined the band. And he was so pissed off at Euronymous trying to be like a sellout. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, we're doing this for our heritage." He's like, and that Euronymous guy is just like, "No, we're gonna do gruesome shit, like put our singers' blown brains on an album cover because we want attention." So Varg, because he believed in it, he went on a fucking spree, burnt down like 30 churches all over Norway.
Yeah.
And then he ended up stabbing Euronymous to death. And in Norway, they have a much more rehabilitative prison system. So the longest that you can be in prison is 21 years. So he got out of jail in like 2009.
Yeah.
And anyways, so this is the book. I'm not even going to get into that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so all these fucking metalhead nerds, they hate the movie Lords of Chaos. I loved it because it's exactly accurate. Like all these fucking black metalheads, they wanted to like think that it's like some kind of like huge mystery and that it's satanic and that there's these evil powers behind it. Bro, it was bored, bullied Norwegian nerds who did too much coke. That's all it was. Varg wouldn't last a fucking day in the South Side in Chicago with his fucking, Harry Potter spiked fucking armor. So anyways, so I'm reading. So back to what I was saying. I was into this satanic shit in 6th grade. So what it started out as a drawing club. It was called the Assassins. Like, so growing up in Chicago, everybody started getting into tagging and shit.
Yeah.
Spray painting and graffiti all over the fucking place. So I made a tag I made this little, I wanted to have this little white boy gang in my neighborhood. And we called ourselves the Assassins. Our tag was the fucking anarchy symbol as the A.
With the Warriors.
Yeah. Assassins, come out and play. So no, our tag was the anarchy symbol, the A, and then the two S's were the SS from the Nazis.
Oh, okay.
So I just tagged ass everywhere. Just put ass everywhere because I was a fucking ass. But all we did in the beginning was I just kept fucking we were little fucking boys in fucking Chicago, so we would just break in construction places and fuck shit up, or whatever, but steal shit from stores. But it started out as a drawing, I'd collect. I think I still have all the drawings. We just draw WWF fucking characters and shit, and I would collect them all. So then here's the craziest part. This is the funniest fucking thing. Some of my friends from my old neighborhood remember this. I seem like a little manipulative sociopath because I talked all these like even jock kids like in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like all these kids who got their shit together. They're like, yeah, Phil's a weird goth guy. I think he's gay. You know, like these
Right.
typical fucking like meathead,
Yeah.
Dago and Irish kids. You know, so I'm like, we have to take it a step up. We have to. You got to show your dedication to
Your
the
allegiance.
assassins. Yeah, to the
To
assassins. To ass. So here's what I did. Remember how I told you I had that whole fucking like field in front of my house, the forest preserve field?
Yeah.
There were woods there.
Because you used to live right off of Cumberland or some shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you showed me one time.
So I fucking went there and I'm like, we're gonna burn these fucking woods down. And I went there. I remember I learned how to fucking like start a fire from Cub Scouts. And what I would do is like any fucking any like explosive dynamite fireworks, I would just take that and then I go to a dollar store and they would sell like these fat fucking cans like the size
Choke
of a
cleaner.
carbon choker cleaner of like fucking like it was the size of like a Subway 12-foot or 12-inch sub, you know? And I just tape them to an M80, you know?
Yeah. We did that in the woods.
Yeah.
That's long ago.
So we started the fire, and here's the funny thing, like right.
Start the fire.
Do you see right there do you see where that Toxic Avenger toy is?
Yeah.
Do you see right next to it that green ring holder?
Yeah, yeah.
I have the match that I started the fire with in there.
A used match?
It's not. It's from the matchbook that I used to burn those woods down. We burnt the whole fucking woods down. It was literally the size of half a football field, and they burnt to the ground. They drove a fire hydrant into the fucking woods while there's fucking trees collapsing on it.
When was that?
It was when I was in like 7th grade.
Oh shit.
It was fucking, and they were like, "We're never hanging out with Phil again. Fuck the assassins."
I think we have more arson stories in common than we should. But I ever tell you that I accidentally set a fucking house on fire?
No.
So when I was a kid, one of my favorite things to do was blow shit up,
Yeah.
set it on fire, break toys, like a fucking Sid from fucking Toy Story.
Yeah.
So what we would do is I would go to like the fucking thrift store and buy like $1 giant stuffed animal, like Winnie the Pooh, and put a fucking M80 in his ass and just watch him explode in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Or like Sarah, which was Vidal's cousin. She had these dolls, and then she was kind of like a tomboy, so she goes, "I don't play with dolls." We're like, "Good, because I'm blowing them up."
Yeah.
So she was, "Give me some." Yeah, let's watch them blow up. And I don't know. I'm sitting with Eric, his buddy Mikey from the city.
Yeah.
And then Mikey's two other friends, Ronnie and Julian, and we decided to take this doll and shove it. All we had was a smoke bomb, so we shoved a smoke bomb in her ass and be like, "Look, she's fucking, she's tearing ass." And we started fucking throwing this fucking thing up in the air. I don't know, we're just being fucking dumb kids. I was like 12 or 13, and on one of those, I threw it up and it got stuck in the house next door's fucking gutter.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, oh, well, and watch the smoke go out. We're like, all right, well, I guess we're done. And we went to half a block to this little liquor store where we would get a bunch of candy and shit. Like, fuck it, let's go get candy and shit. And we're coming around the alley, and Mikey just goes, oh, shit, look at their roof. It's on. And we all realize, we fucking set the roof on fire.
The roof.
Yeah, exactly.
The roof.
So,
the roof is
so
on
I'm looking at
fire.
it, I'm thinking like, oh, fuck. Like, they saw us throwing that shit earlier. So we just jumped the fucking fence. And we start handing this little fucking tiny hose up and just shooting the roof with water. We're like, it's cool. Let's just put it out. They won't even know. They won't even know. And as we're putting it out, it's like getting out of control. And I'm like, fuck. Mikey, go down there and talk to them and tell them their fucking roof's on fire. And he goes on there, the whitest kid out of all of us, goes to a house full of Mexicans that don't speak English. And just fucking ponder, hey, your fucking roof's on fire. And the Mexican guy's like, eh. He goes, no, your roof's on fire. The guy's like, like fucking, like, fuck off. He doesn't know what he's saying. And the guy goes, as he closes the door, Mikey goes, no, dude, look. And the Mexican guy comes around and looks, and he goes, ay, way. And he sees us shooting the fucking roof with the hose. And I'm like, I have two different routes I can go. I can either be like, fuck, and like try to cover myself up for this as much as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Or two, play stupid. And
Yeah.
I chose play stupid. So I go and like, oh, they're calling the fire department. The fire department's coming. And by the time their fucking attic apartment had fucking caught fire on the inside already by the kitchen area.
Yeah.
And the fucking Mexican lady sitting in front, she goes, like she's trying to intimidate me, and she goes, you know, they're going to find who did this. And I'm sitting there, I fucking hope you do. But Eric the whole time is just sitting there, bro, we're going to go to juvie. We're going to go to fucking juvie, man. We're going to go to juvie. I'm like, dude, just calm down. Like, if we're going to go to juvie, it's because you're acting this fucking way. Just calm the fuck down, dude. So I was somewhat of a fucking narcissist myself. I was just sitting there like, I really fucking hope you do. I hope you do. And I'm just watching this shit as their fucking firefighters are up there tearing out the window and fucking putting out, like, shooting water up there. I'm like, just sitting there, and I'm like cool, calm, and collective up front. Inside, I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
But the fucking lady goes, so what happened? What was it? And it's a smoke bomb, by the way.
Yeah.
The fucking firefighter said, oh, a bottle rocket went up on the roof. You know, somebody probably shot a bottle rocket and fell on your roof. It's easy, you know, it happens. I'm like, and the Mexican lady, you could tell she was not buying it. She just kept looking at me. She goes, what am I going to do now? I was just like, well, I'm sure insurance will cover it. And we'll, like fucking dumb little smart-ass 12-year-old kid. Like, yeah, I'm sure fine. He goes, because I saw you playing with fireworks. I'm like, I had no bottle rockets. I just had smoke bombs. And she's just sitting there looking at me like fucking piercing her eyes right through me. And they left, and nothing fucking happened. I go inside, and Eric's just like, dude, let's just stay inside for the rest of the day. Let's just stay inside. Fucking tweaking out, and I'm sitting there like, all right, man. Went to the bathroom, and I just sat there like, thank God. Because that was going to be really fucking bad for me.
Yeah.
But I told Vidal's mom, like years later. I told her. I was like, yeah, we fucking definitely set that roof on fire that time.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, I fucking know you guys did. I knew you fucking guys did. I knew that. And you talk to Eric about it now. He'll tell you, dude. He was already in his head talking about we're gonna go to juvie, and then from juvie we're gonna go to jail, and we're gonna get fucking raped and all this shit. He's already putting the worst case scenarios. Mikey's like, I don't even live here. I'm gonna leave. You know?
Hold my pocket, bitch.
Hold my pocket. Yeah. You ever seen that one, the fucking Tom Segura?
Yeah.
Bikes.
Dude, you know what? Just side note, I fucking hate that podcast. Your mom's house.
Really?
I cannot stand. You know why? Because that motherfucker in the background laughing at any fucking thing.
Oh,
I'm talking about that producer.
Yeah.
It's like that guy is trying to keep his job so bad.
Yeah,
it's like
they do overdo that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Tom Segura will start the podcast. He's like, "So on today's podcast," and he's like,
He's a little loud.
I was like, I didn't even say a joke yet. It's just the intro. Oh, yeah, right. It's like, so anyways, on today's podcast, we're gonna have this special guest. I almost want that sound effect just to play it every fucking time on us. Just that motherfucker.
Dude, you should get a little fucking pad with MIDI keys.
I want to get that shit, but
you can actually use one of those. You can use the MIDI key and just boom, boom.
But anyways, so I was gonna say though, you know what this reminds me of? I think I have fucking. You talking about the smoke bomb? It just. I'm getting ADD. I got 3 fucking amazing stories in my head. So it was like, Joe, who I used to work with, this fucking
Joe.
Yeah, we talked about this in the old episode about Joe. Like, so let me give you the thing about Joe. Like, there's so many hilarious fucking stories with Joe that I could tell now because we have the time, right? Like, you're in no rush, right? So it's like 7:00. So
yeah, it's not bad. Huh? Yeah.
So anyways,
oh shit, it is.
So one thing with Joe was he would fucking so Joe was I mentioned this in the last episode. He was the worst fucking business owner. He was this biker dude. Just picture Stone Cold Steve Austin without the mustache. He had like a Stone Cold goatee. He was a biker. He was bald. He was like 7 feet tall. Rode a fucking motorcycle. He's one of those fucking tools that's like, I don't have turn signals on my Harley. I use my hand signals because I'm old school.
Yeah.
Such a fucking tool. So when I first worked for him, he had a welding shop in Elk Grove Village, and we were working there.
I remember going there.
And I was talking about that in the last episode, but right next door to us were these fucking Russian guys who repaired food, pastry, factory parts. So like if they had a huge fucking, like how you have like an electric mixer for dough.
Yeah.
They would have ones where the bowl is the size of like a bathtub, and it was from a factory, and they would just repair them all day. And Joe would they were all like super Russian, like right off the fucking boat Russian.
Yeah.
And it just made me laugh my ass off because I remember one of the guys was just like this bald guy with a scar on his fucking shiny head.
Yeah.
That was the boss. And then his employee looked exactly like Boris from GoldenEye.
Oh my god.
You remember that fucking?
Yeah,
I am
remember.
invincible. The guy in GoldenEye isn't even fucking Russian. He's British, but he looked exactly like him. And I just remember one day, it was like right before 4th of July. We're leaving work. He's like, "Yeah, so what are you gonna do? You going to your family?" Yeah. And he's like, "Yeah, Phil, look what I got." And he shows me, he's got a mega smoke bomb that goes for like 20 minutes. And it was the size of a road flare.
Yeah.
And he lights it and he just rolls it into the Russians' fucking factory because they'd work with the door open. He rolls it in there and it's just purple smoke. They're fucking running out of there thinking like, what chemical is leaking, There's just this cloud of smoke and them going like, "Oh, look at the Berlin Wall is coming down again. Oh god, Stalin is invading." And then when he told him, he's like, "Oh, dude, it's just a joke. It's just," I'm like, I knew the whole time he's a dick, but it was the funniest fucking. It was funny to be the bystander. But you know what else reminded me of that was how you're saying I used to break into construction places. I got 2 fucking hilarious stories. First story is when I was a little ass fucking. I was like 12 years old, like 7th grade or some shit. I remember I broke into a construction place, and these fucking workers, they leave all their tools and shit. And I went to one, and they had a full-size pickaxe, fucking full, like bigger than a sledge. And I was like 12 years old, so I dragged that shit home. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be a miner. I'll find some gold in the backyard." And I just kept this pickaxe. It was like literally as tall as me when I was 12.
Huh.
So I fucking kept it. So here's what's hilarious. Fast forward 20 fucking years later, I'm working with Joe. We had this job. It was such a shit job. He was such a fucking frugal piece of shit.
Yeah.
What he did was he took out a loan. When you flip houses, you take out a loan, you buy some house, and you flip it. So he had like these 3 houses, and he was so fucking crooked that one house needed a porch taken down, and the other one needed a porch built.
So he took it from one to the other?
Yeah, so he'd save this fucking rotted wood. It wasn't even financially, like, logically... It didn't make any logical or financial sense.
No,
because he'd pay me more hourly to pry this rotted wood.
Then he would have bought new wood.
Yeah, and sand it down and then stain it when you could have just bought new wood. So he has me go to this job, and there's this rotted fucking porch. And what I found out was this was fucking hilarious. There was I even might have already said this. I don't even fucking care, but. Some fucking redneck hicks they got some inheritance where they got a shit ton of money. So they bought a hot tub on their rotted fucking porch, and it collapsed. I don't know, they must have had a fucking cow for a wife, but it collapsed through the fucking porch. So these fucking rednecks, this is like the most redneck fucking... You could get a custom-made jacuzzi that's in ground for cheaper. What do? They buy like 100 bags of 80-pound concrete to try and make a base.
To try to shape a fucking tub?
Try and shape a tub and just drop the tub in the fucking concrete. But what they did is when they realized that it's a stupid fucking idea and they were too lazy to do it, they just left the bags there for like 10 fucking years. So I show up to this job and he's like, "Yo, you got to take this porch down and then you can go home. But you got to clean up everything there." I'm like, "All right." And he'd always, this is so fucking, I'm telling you, every single job, he just had me burn any wood to the ground. So I'm just like, "Oh, I'll just set this porch on fire," like after I pry it all off, and then that's it. I pried that porch, and there's those 100 fucking bags of cement. So I'm fucking going at these bags for, it took 4 days. I had calluses on my hands. I'm going at these bags with a sledge, like a,
Trying to break them down?
I've been working on the railroad.
John Henry it?
Yeah. And so the second day I was like so angry that I had to do this that I was just like sledging this shit like fueled by rage. I snapped the fucking sledge. And he's like, motherfucker, I don't know anybody who would. That's a brand new fucking sledge. You're the only motherfucker who would I ever knew who broke a sledge. And I felt so bad. I'm like, dude, I'll replace it. I was probably using it wrong or some shit. So I come back the next day with that pickaxe that I stole when I was a kid. And he's like, so where'd you get this? First of all, why would you get a fucking pickaxe? This ain't a fucking mine. This ain't a fucking cave. And I'm just like, well, because it's mine. He's like, where the fuck did you get it? Your mom uses this? And I'm like, no, I stole it as a kid. And he's like, all right, Phil. And he'd always get high pitched when he's angry. It's like, all right, Phil, let me get this straight. This huge Stone Cold Steve Out. His throat would close up with rage. He's just, let me get this straight. We're flipping a house. We're flipping a house on a construction site, and you're gonna replace a sledge that you stole from another guy like me when you were a kid, and that's supposed to make me happy. I'm like, yeah, you got a fucking sledge, like. But then here's the other thing that I remembered. It was fucking hilarious as shit. When I was a kid, once again, I was like 12. My brother was 8 because we're 4 years apart. And I remember I did some shit. I used to always break into abandoned buildings. It was so
me too.
It was so fucking cool.
It was recreational.
It was
fun.
so much fun. Yeah, like you're there. It's like a
And break everything.
It's like a zombie apocalypse. You could do whatever the fuck you. It's literally the Foot Clan in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Smoke cigarettes and skateboard in there.
I was thinking of the scene from This Is England, where they all go in and they fucking just start smashing shit up in this fucking. We did that for fun. I don't know that anybody that doesn't live in the city knew that was fun, but that's what we used to do. Me and Eric, and before me and Eric.
It's definitely what anybody on the south side did.
Especially when those houses got boarded up and they got a bunch of junkies kicked out of there.
Yeah.
We actually would. Well, I'll tell you about it if you're done. But we had one that went to. And was kind of funny.
So I was gonna tell this real quick. I remember. Yeah, I was like 12. My brother was like 8. My brother, to this day, since then, would just stay in and play video games. And I did something that pissed him off. He was like he was like not on good terms. You know, like when brothers get into a quarrel and they hate each other for 4 days. And I'm always like like even my fucking therapist said what my problem is because how my ma treated me. I always feel like I always play the jester role. Like anytime anybody's upset, I feel like it's my fucking like responsibility to make them happy. Like, you know what it reminds me of? You remember Animal House?
Yeah.
Remember when they fucking trash Flounder's car? He's like, my parents are gonna kill me, and then fucking John Belushi's like breaking a glass on his head. He's like, come on, cheer up. That's like me, like just trying to cheer him up. So I told my brother, I'm like, listen, we're gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna take you to this fucking place. And he's like, all right, whatever. It better be fun. I'm still mad at you. So, bro, here's what happened. You know how certain businesses, they just have like a cursed corner. Like no matter what fucking
goes there, it fails.
No matter what business goes there, it fails. So by like a mile from my house, there used to be they were called, I don't even know if they're around, Dominic's. They were like
it was Jewel Dominic's.
It was pretty much Jewel. Yeah. So there was a Dominic's. There was this parking lot. There's this mini mall that was shaped like an L. And first the Dominic's was on the fucking east side of the parking lot. First thing that was there, do you remember before Home Depot there was a Handy Andy?
Of course I remember Handy Andy.
With that fucking fat ass mustache?
Yeah, the dude had like he looked like your typical fucking know-it-all handyman.
Yeah.
He's like a ginger, wasn't he?
I don't know. I remember him looking like Squidward with a mustache. Like,
yeah, so I brought that up not too long ago to somebody. What the fuck's Handy Andy? I'm like, it's literally same colors.
Handy Andy, put your hand under the table and I'll show you.
I'll show you right now.
But okay, so
yeah, he looks like Bill.
yeah. So there's a Handy Andy there. Then a Dominic's came on this east side. Then the Dominic's had to move to the south side. Like something went out of business, so they moved there. So then they had too much high rent, so they moved back to the east side. So it was so fucking ridiculous because this huge fucking grocery store, it just kept moving back and forth 50 yards back and forth over rent money, like over what's more rent, over what they get taxed more.
Yeah.
So basically all they're doing to move is they're just dollying shit across the parking lot. They don't even need moving trucks, So I broke in there one day, and bro, the bakeries at these like Jewels and shit, they have pre-made dough that's in like a fucking, those barrels that like back in the old days they used to serve ice cream out of. It's like a cardboard barrel.
Cardboard barrel?
Yeah. It was like a cardboard barrel. They fucking like.
Oh yeah. It's a circular one that they have like in the glass containers, like Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, but it was
They had like a steel lip on top, and then
yeah, but it was like a fucking oil can barrel, like that,
bigger than
like
that?
like that big, like you could fit a Jeffrey Dahmer body in there. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, that's much bigger.
So they had a barrel like that, just filled with dough. So I take my brother there. We start this little Cub Scout fire, and I put this barrel over it, and dude, it explodes like one of those biscuit cans. So we just get dough sprayed all over our fucking winter coats. I just got like my brand new fucking Chicago Bulls fucking winter coat that I wanted my whole life because that was the prime of the Bulls.
Yeah.
And we just have these chunks of dough all over us. It looked like the Pillsbury guy just jizzed on us,
He fucking blew a load on you guys.
And my brother was laughing his ass off, but we come home and my mom sees us, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna get in trouble. And she just looks at us like covered in dough, and she's just like, I don't even want to know what happened. Clean up right now. Say your prayers. Like, it was fucking.
Like she just had enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what the fuck were you saying? You found you went into an abandoned place, so you found a body?
No. We went to. So when we lived in the city, particularly when we were moved around Vidal's mom's house.
Yeah.
It was the fucking ghetto. It was the ghetto. And within like a 2-block radius, in the matter of 2 years, maybe like 5 fucking houses had been people evicted, and they boarded them up and shit.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Black Lives Matter proofed them.
Right. They basically would, you board up the windows on the lower level, but the door, they wouldn't do anything to. So if you just kicked it enough times, you would be able to pop that motherfucker open. So
open up, it's SWAT.
When Eric came around, I introduced him into breaking into houses and destroying the fucking place.
Yeah.
But before Eric, there was a little kid on the block named Robert I used to hang out with all the time. His name was Fat Boy. We call him Fat Boy. We go to this fucking house that's at the end of the block. I had just driven by it earlier, and I see the fucking boarded up windows. I'm like, there's a new project. So we went to this fucking house, and it was like a 3-floor house. If you could imagine, like your mom's place in Park Ridge.
Yeah.
Add another floor.
Yeah.
In the basement. And this house, you could tell, like the rugs were all fucking stained, and they didn't take care of this. These are fucking drug dealers or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have the only way in, because in this case, they took the door, and they fucking put boards and nails on the inside. Because we're kicking the shutters, and it's not coming. It's like, normally by like 15 fucking kicks, we get in this fucking door. So we get to one of the windows on the side that wasn't boarded up, because they thought it was too high from the ground anyways.
Yeah.
No, we just climb on the fence, drag to the fence, fucking smash the window, open the window, got in. Fat Boy couldn't, so I had to come around and start taking the doors from the inside and prying all the fucking boards off and then open the door. But this whole fucking process probably took like 20 fucking minutes, 25 minutes to do this. He finally gets in and he's just walking around, and there's a basement. I'm like, I'm not going down there. It's absolutely fucking dark, and there's still fucking, like, we don't know what the fuck's in here. So we're going through, and we're smashing shit. And the first thing I do is I take the fridge and I tip it over. And then we went to the fucking bathroom, and we started kicking, like trying to kick the back part of it, like just destroying the fucking place.
Yeah.
Running full speed at the fucking wall and trying to fucking Kool-Aid man into the next room. And as we're doing this, we just hear, like, fucking, like, moving around. In fact, looks at me and goes, what the fuck is that? And some black guy emerges from the basement. He goes, man, what the fuck you doing? And Fat Boy goes, what? He goes, man, what the fuck you doing? I'm trying to sleep, this motherfucker. I guess this dude had gotten another way in, and he was fucking in the basement the whole time, probably terrified, like, what the fuck is going on up there? And he finally mustered up the courage after maybe a solid hour. And what the fuck you niggas doing? Like, oh, shit. And he just whatever, like he wasn't even trying to stop us. He was just like disappointed in us. He's like, man.
Oh man.
So he goes back downstairs. We're like, I guess whatever. Fuck that guy. He keep destroying the place. We thought it was gonna be the cops or something else. We go upstairs and there's like a fucking chair like this, but smaller, and like, dude, let's take this and fucking shoot it out the window to the front yard. So he picked it up like 1, 2, 3 out the fucking window to the yard. And we got to destroying this whole fucking place and left. And then in the yard before we leave, there's a fucking TV. We're like, dude, like those big box TVs.
Yeah.
Like, before I even finish, I'm like, let's take that. He goes to the 3rd floor and throw it out the balcony. I'm like, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. So we take the fucking TV, get all the way to the top off the balcony. Like, this is gonna be fucking epic. When this hits the ground, we gotta run, get the fuck out of here. We go like this and we throw it over, and it just like fucking literally, music played, just fucking coming down like, and when it hits the ground, it goes. And we're running full speed down the stairs. Like, all right,
Did that fucking cloud of smoke come out of the screen?
Yeah, like a little fucking puff of thing came out, and we're just fucking like when you break a fucking one of those lights, one of these fucking lights.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was in there. So we come down the stairs and we're going full speed, and then as we get to the bottom, that fucking window we broke, the black guy has his head out the fucking window like this, like looking around. And we start running, and the guy looks. He goes, man, y'all motherfuckers. He just said something. We're just running down the alley full speed. And we pull to the back. We get to the back. And, like, my sister's about to leave. And we're laughing and whatever. My sister goes, what the fuck you guys do? Like, nothing. We didn't do shit. She goes, no, I fucking knew you did something. You did something. Like, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm just hoping to God that this dude doesn't come down the alley and just like, hey, these motherfuckers came in,
They
smashed
took my TV.
This shit. I was wondering maybe he was gonna use it. Like, oh, that's all I got. It's the only thing left to my name.
Like, there isn't even a plug, sir. Well, you get a few hits of this good shit and you start watching TV shows.
That was the fucking greatest shit, dude.
Dude, so me and Hipster John grew up together, and that was my partner in crime. Because my best that was
I met John too.
Yeah, in my old podcast he was saying nothing. Yeah, he was saying nothing. He was my partner in crime because long story short, his ma died from cancer in 2nd grade. My dad left our family, so our families were always together. Yeah. Me and him would do such crazy shit. And dude, it reminds me of the TV, bro. So like we would always go garbage picking. It was so much fucking fun, me and him. And one time we did find a TV. We fucking walked with it for like a mile. Like we're fucking Requiem for a Dream trying to pawn that shit. You know, we walked because we put it on the train tracks. And you just hear, and it keeps getting closer. And then
like
you just hear a cloud of smoke.
Hit the fucking cow mower in the front and shit.
Yeah. But you know what I remember? One of the funniest fucking, oh my God.
It's fucked.
One of the funniest fucking memories I had. So when I was really little, I think I was maybe like 7, I'd still go garbage picking, and we fucking found a bowling ball, and I was like, oh man, this is so fucking awesome because I got my own bowling ball, whatever, you know. And I'm like, I told my brother, I'm like, oh, we should try down the alley because Chicago alleys, they got that like little groove in the middle for the rain or whatever. So I'm like, let's fucking bowl down the alley, and my brother's like, I don't think this is how we're supposed to do this. I'm like, well, what do you you bowl down an alley? You have bowling alleys in a bowling alley. Where do you think the rednecks go? You know,
This makes sense.
Yes. So we're bowling with we're setting up like beer bottles as pins, like garbage, like the opening to Kingpin. You know, he's just bowling with fucking garbage. And dude, I remember, you know how long a block is? It's like a quarter of a football field. I keep using it. That's the theme of tonight. I keep using a football field as reference. So it's like 25 fucking yards, right? And I told my brother to set up something. I don't know what the fuck. It might have been a TV actually. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit it full speed at this fucking TV. It'll gain momentum. So I'm at the other side of the block. We set the TV at the other side of the block, the end of the block, and I bowl. This fucking thing rolls past it into the street. And there's there's like that douchebag. Everybody had that one douchebag on the block who had like a vintage fucking Pontiac Firebird or some shit that's loud as fuck. It rolls out into the street, and he runs over it, and it gets stuck underneath his muffler. You just hear, motherfuckers, what the fuck was that? So we book and we run, and I just like peek from behind the garbage can. It was stuck under his fucking muffler, just scraping across the fucking road. So he gets so pissed. He takes the bowling ball. He's so fucking angry. He shot puts it, and it just lands in someone's yard. Almost fucking bops their dog in the head.
Oh my god.
And I was laughing so hard. I ran home and I'm like, all right, whatever. Fuck that shit. Then the next morning, I'm just like, you know what? That's a perfectly good bowling ball. Let's go in that guy's yard and get it. And we got it again. It's just these. I can imagine these fucking people like Lassie, how'd you bring this in? There's just a fucking random bowling ball in their yard with the goddamn like UFO crater, you know. So I get it, and I had a fire pit in my yard, so we'd like chop wood all the time. And I'm like, dude, you know, it'd be cool if we could like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, chop it in half with an axe, dude. I fucking slit my cheek open because those shit are made out of acrylic. So I fucking hit that thing as hard as I could with the axe. It chipped and it like slit my fucking cheek open. I'm like, no, I'm not chopping this fucking thing in half.
God. No, we went to remember when we went to that fucking house? We broke into that.
You were telling me last time. I don't remember. It was like we thought it was like something rotting in a freezer.
Yeah, no. So if we can remember, I don't know.
By the way, this is when we knew each other. So we're what, like 25, 23?
I was in my fucking 20s, yeah. And it was just like fuck it, we're doing that again. So we went to on the corner of Belmont and like fucking River Road.
Yeah.
There was this behind the gas station. There was this house that had been abandoned for a long time.
Yeah.
And we're just like, fuck it, let's break in there. That's the thing we're doing now. Park across the street, walk over there. I remember they had a garage. It was they had like a business in the back. They had a garage with 2 cars in them, if you remember that correctly. And then they had the only thing that was plugged in and powered was a fucking freezer in this place. Like one of those long freezers you put meat in. Stuff.
Yeah.
And
like casket
you reached
size.
in, and there was like nasty rotting fur and shit. But I remember when we went in there, we started smashing up the rest of the fucking house. But then we found these fire extinguishers, and we just took it in the car and just shot all the fucking fire extinguisher fluid in the car because it was a great idea at the time. And then going around, we're looking at all these fucking. There was a bunch of keys. Like maybe one of these starts this fucking thing up, so we can fucking drive this piece of shit car. It's been abandoned here forever. Just fucking drive it out into the street. I don't think we ever found the keys. But that's the last time I ever fucking went into like a fucking abandoned place and tore it up. But we definitely went into that fucking place. And then when we opened that thing, it just smelled like fucking pure rotting meat death.
Like roadkill, yeah.
Gross, yeah. We ended up jumping out the back little garage. But as we're going up into the house, the fucking stairs are like this. Like they're definitely fucking not to code and dangerous. They were like literally like this. So we went up the stairs like a fucking asshole at an angle.
Like it's a fucking staircase in Squid Games.
Yeah, basically. The whole fucking house would sway and move. This fucking thing was
turning into Jumanji in there.
Well, they tore it down very shortly after that.
Yeah.
But I remember that was the last time we went. That's the only time me and you went to a fucking tear up a house. Most of my fucking tear up houses was with Eric.
Yeah.
Because when I first met him, he was just this nervous little fucking nerd. And I don't know,
He's
man.
still a nervous nerd.
He still is a nervous nerd. You fucking, in this particular time.
At least he's not an overconfident nerd. Right?
No, yeah, we would go to random fucking houses whenever we saw them boarded up. We're like, that's where we're fucking going. That's where we're going. And we would go in and fucking tear the place apart. We fire extinguishers too. When we lived in Logan Square, the apartment complex next door. So there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the back, 8 apartments.
Yeah.
And so they were starting to work on these. And these are like fucking hipster fucking Logan Square apartments. Expensive fucking apartments. I don't know. I had just split up with my first fucking love, my chick. And I was just like in a rage. Like, I'm going to fucking drink and I'm going to tear this fucking place apart. And Eric had just broken up with his too. So we're all both like, fuck it, let's go.
Have some white boy rage.
Yeah.
Punch some drywall.
Apart. So we're walking around this whole fucking thing. Like, how the fuck are we going to get in here? And we see in the back, the only thing
the vote was stolen. The vote was stolen.
This little fucking window like this. Get in there. We tear that fucking place apart, but that's the only unit we can get into. So being fucking meatheads, we went to a wall. We're like, well, behind this wall is the other unit. So we just tore through the fucking, started kicking through the fucking drywall until we got to the next unit. So we just created a little fucking hole to get to the next apartment, tear that up, and then we can't get up, but we can get into the hallway.
Yeah.
So that we fucking tore down the wall to get into the hallway.
Yeah.
Found these fire extinguishers. Open, there was 2 doors, like there's the front
Yeah.
door and these little staircase in the second door. So we emptied 3 full fucking fire extinguishers behind the door. So there's like a fine powder all over the fucking ground. And we leave. We're like, all right, fuck this place. And we fucking went home. We're like, tomorrow we're coming and we're gonna get to the other units. We're gonna tear those fucking things
Yeah.
up too. And when we're sitting out in the morning, we're like, fuck it, let's go to the apartments. We get out there, there's just a guy outside on the phone like, yeah, fucking, the whole fucking wall is broken. The fucking goddamn fire extinguishers are everything in the fucking hall. Shit, forget about it. Let's go back. And again, fucking Eric, like, do you think they're gonna know it's us? You think they're gonna know it's us? Like, no. He goes, what if somebody else in the block saw us? What if the guy downstairs saw us? He fucking hates us.
They're just gonna
relax.
spray another extinguisher for Prince.
Yeah, there you go. You just see perfect little fucking footprints.
Dude, so me and Hipster John, we did a whole bunch of shit around his house. He still lives at his parents' house right now.
Yeah.
In Arlington Heights. One of the things, dude, the one thing, so out of all this crazy shit that we did, I remember the thing that scared me the fucking most, because this guy was a fucking moron. In Arlington Heights, they have all these bike trails around these ponds, and they had these cement tunnels. You ever see like, it's like a off
Where
tunnel.
you go under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like they'll have like a offshoot from a pond, and then there's just like a cement tunnel that like your body could fit in,
Yeah, you can ride through.
Dude. Well, no. You had to crawl. You had to crawl.
You're talking about the ones that actually empty water in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about they make those
Yeah.
steel tunnels that you can ride your bike underground through.
No. The fucking concrete tunnels that empty water into the pond. So he's like, yo, dude, we should crawl through one of those. I'm like, dude, this ain't a good idea. Like, and he's like, well, you know what? I'm like, we're gonna fucking do this. And dude, I thought I was gonna get bit in the face by some coyote or some shit, because we fucking, dude, I'm not joking. Pitch black. We crawled for 2 hours in pitch black.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, I don't even.
Too claustrophobic.
Yeah. I know. I was like, dude, I'm like, I don't even know if there's enough air where we are, but we made it through. We started at like his bike trail park, and we ended up in a different town, like in these tunnels. It was, and he's like, don't use the flashlight. Don't use the flashlight, and unless it's an emergency. We need the batteries. I'm like, we don't know how far we're gonna fucking go. We're gonna end up in Kentucky or some, But one thing that we did, so this shit made me laugh my ass off. I was in high school. I was hanging out with the wrong fucking crowd, and I hung out with this one skinhead kid. He wasn't a racist skinhead, but he's This Is England, Sharps, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice.
Yeah.
And me, him, and that Mike kid that I put into a seizure, we would have a fight club. And sometimes I'd get Hipster John involved, but he got his ass kicked all the fucking time. So me and that skinhead kid would always fight. He'd get fucking pissed because he would usually win the fight, but he had this fucking Sicilian schnoz that I would, dude, if I just
break it every time.
If I just went for the schnoz, if I gave him a bloody nose, he's like, all right, enough. So one day, that same complex that Hipster John is at now, I remember going to their pool, and it was like 15. For some reason, it was like in the fucking 2000s. It was like $15 if you didn't live in the area to go to that pool. And I was like, oh man, I was in high school. I'm like, they gotta have some kind of collection suitcase for all the money, for all the cash, or some fucking cash register.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're gonna fucking break in there. You, me, and my friend Matt. He was a skinhead, So we go to try and break in there, and sure enough, you know how the fucking showers smell like feet in those places because they're fucking public, and nobody fucking they just pour bleach over it, and there's always when it gets humid, there's just flies everywhere.
Yeah.
It was literally like the showers in Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're going there, and I noticed that the only thing open is a little window for the showers because there's a bunch of flies coming out of there. It smells like fucking swamp ass. So I'm like, John, you're the only skinny one that can crawl through there. Like, we can't even go. He's like, how the fuck you want me to get through there? I'm like, we'll boost you up. So we're boosting him up through this fucking window, And he's like, I'm stuck. He's stuck on by his waist. So the skinhead guy goes, he hated John because he thought he was a bitch. So he just shoots his fucking shot, puts his fucking feet up, and John falls face first in these showers. And he fucking, and
You
dude,
got this.
it was so fucking stupid. He's like, all right, so he opens the front doors for us, and he's like, all right, we better fucking get something good because my whole face is bruised, you know, my jaw unhinged. And dude, all we got I literally wanted to take anything that I liked, and there was nothing there. So the only thing I took was an Alice in Wonderland VHS tape.
Oh my god.
and a fucking and I still
here?
No, it's not here. But you know what I do have? You can see it from where I'm sitting. Do you know those fucking old school record vinyl players, the ones that unfold and they're portable? Yeah, they had one for there, and I took that, and I still got it to this day. It fucking sounds perfect. That was the only shit we got out of there.
Well, you got something.
You know what else?
And a story.
So you know what else me hipster and John did I ever tell you about the satanic prank I pulled? All right. I got this in another video, but I may as well tell it again because we're going at it. So there's 3 characters in this. I'll try and tell it quick since it's already on my page, but. So it was me, John, and my drummer at the time, Billy. This guy Billy was this goofy. He looked like he does improv in San Francisco now. He's the funniest fucking kid I knew. He loved Pee Wee Herman, and he acted exactly like him and shit. So what happened was Billy, he had like this fucking asshole union garbage man dad. He was the kind of dad like. He's like, well, you don't got a job yet, you faggot. Like, he was that kind of fucking asshole. And the other thing that made me laugh was like, he looked so funny when he was angry because he looked like fucking Zangief from Street Fighter.
Zangief with the fucking hairy little.
Yeah, that hairy pat. Yeah, he had that exact. He looked exactly like him. And another side funny thing. Here's the other side funny thing. We did so much fucking shit, so much trouble that me and Billy, I mean, this is literally insanity. We literally started losing our minds because we developed a code language.
Was this the dude that we met up with in Jams one time? He was a drummer?
I don't know. Maybe.
So, he was in the city. We went to his basement. He was like building a bar. We ended up fucking jamming with him for a minute.
Oh, it was him. Yeah, that was him. Yeah. So we fucking
and he had calmed down a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so side note, what was funny is this shit made me laugh my ass off. So me and Bill, we were obsessed with this World of Nonsense thing. Yeah. Because basically we were in a joke metal band, so we were basically like Weird Al mixed with fucking dying fetus. It was the most ridiculous shit in the world. We had this band called Sir Bastards, and I'll go into it in another episode about music, but basically it was nonsense. So we made this whole dictionary of code words, like the way mob guys talk in prison. Yeah. So it'd be like, we'd be like 80-year-old whores was like weed, code for weed. Pumping sawdust was going to a party, and I don't know, like something fucking, I don't know, punching Twinkies was like doing coke or something. And I'd be like, and I would go to Billy's house with his fucking union garbage man dad. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, Bill, so do you want to go, like, what do you want to do first? I mean, we may as well pump sawdust with 80-year-old whores, but later on we might punch, like, I'm not really into punching Twinkies. It's not my thing, but I mean, I know you might do it if it's there, so let's just pump sawdust first. And his fucking dad would be sitting at the table. He's like, what the fuck are you faggots talking about? So anyways, so what the fuck happened? What the fuck was I getting at? Oh, so it was the first time we ever smoked weed. And it was dude, I'm so embarrassed, man, because me and John, before we smoked weed, we watched all these Cheech and Chongs because I had like the illegal satellite, free satellite,
the free
channel.
cable, yeah.
So I watched all the Cheech and Chongs, and we already started talking, like literally imitating Jim Brewer in Half Baked. Like, yeah man, no way, man, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, we're not even high, and we're already talking like, because we're like so excited to smoke weed. So we were gonna buy an eighth to split between the three of us. So I'm already making this as long as the other video. But anyways, Billy, because his dad was such a strict cunt, was working full time at this pizza place that he always had to fucking work at. So we had to wake like even throughout the summer. So we had to wait till he got off. So me and John, we went to go pick up an eighth. And I look at John. I'm like, dude, John, we should try this shit first. He's like, yeah, but it's also Billy's. Like, he's paying too. And I'm like, yeah, but he's not going to fucking notice. We'll fucking fill it in with oregano. He's like, all right, let's try it out. So we go to these woods that we used to always go to, me and John. And there was this one spot. It was like it was so deep in. It's like a mile in. And there was like this perfect fire pit. There's like these logs that you could sit on. It was a perfect circle. And there was a fucking pit in the middle. So we're smoking there. While we're smoking, we're like getting a little, the first time you get high, you just get kind of giddy. You don't even get that high. And I found a safety orange spray can from like where they spray for pipe.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. And I look at John. I was all into that satanic shit. This was like freshman year. This is the first time I smoked weed. I'm like, dude, it'd be fucking hilarious. And he's like, what? And he's just trying to chill out on the log because he's a fucking hippie bitch. So I start spraying a pentagram across the entire circle with his safety orange can. And then here's the thing, that fucking road right there, it was fucking weird as hell because it went from like 30 miles an hour to like 60, and deer would always get hit there because on one side there was this deep ass bum woods, and on the other side it was a golf course.
Right.
So all these fucking deer would run across, try and get to the golf course, can't get in, run back across and get hit. So there's a dead fucking deer carcass.
Perfect.
And I'm trying to drag it into the middle of this fucking circle, and its fucking skin is sliding off because it's so fucking rotted. Oh. And John's like, dude, you are so fucked up, man. You are so fucked up. And he's like, and I'm just giddy the whole time. I'm like, dude, here's what we're going to do. When Billy comes, we're going to go home right now. When Billy comes, we're going to pretend like we didn't see this. Like we don't know anything about this. We're going to take him here. And the first person who laughs loses. He's like, man, this is so fucked up. This is so fucked up. So we walk back. We wait. It was like another 2 hours. Bill comes. He's like, yeah, so you guys ready to party? I'm like, yeah, we are. We're like smirking and shit. We go in there. We start doing that shit. And I remember like the moment we did, we're like, holy fuck, dude. What the fuck is this? And he's like, yeah, isn't that a symbol? Like Billy's like this typical North Side Cubs fan, white, goody two shoes kid, Catholic family, He's like, dude, maybe we should get like, let's get fuck the party. Let's get the whole football team. We'll like hide in bushes and we'll beat the fuck out of those Satanists. And then I told him that I did that shit. And he was like, I'm never trusting this motherfucker again. It was fucking hilarious. I was laughing my ass off, and John's just shaking his head as usual, just watching me make an ass of myself. But anyways, the reason why I was mentioning that spot was maybe 2 years before that. So I was a freshman with a satanic prank. 2 years before that, like 7th grade or some shit, we used to go there in the winter. We used to go there all the time because that was the fire pit, And one time, you know how I said there was a golf course across the street?
Yeah.
There's a little fucking cut hole in the fence. Mm-hmm. So, and like, my specialty, get an M80 and tie it to carbon choker cleaner. And fucking, I threw that shit in a porta potty, and this guy fucking like was ready to putt, and as soon as it exploded, like the top went off, and then it just started melting down the walls, and he like fell to the ground because he got so fucking startled. It was like, it reminded me of that Jackass with the air horn, but just like on steroids,
Yeah.
Oh man. Christ.
We used to take those fucking porta potties every time we saw them when we were kids. We just fucking tip them.
Yeah.
We'd have blue water and shit all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
And we would go to these construction sites and do that. Because, like, especially when I know now, like, we fucking work in most places, some cunty people are just like, no, I'm sorry, you can't use my bathroom, not a public bathroom.
Yeah.
So they would fucking rent those porta potties at construction sites so the guys working there could take a shit or piss.
Yeah.
And we would go to fucking construction sites. Like, we literally, walk and look for them.
Yeah.
Like, there's one, and fucking tip it. A few times we would run up full speed and then jump at the top of it and just fucking kick it until it tips, or whatever. We just tip them, and on one of those, we're running full speed at this one and we jump and just kick it and it goes like this. Then it comes right back and we hear inside, hey! That's the guy there taking a shit, and we just ran full speed, the fuck out of there. Cause I don't know how big this guy is or whatever. We're just fucking kids. But that shit was, I remember that shit.
It's just a midget with a really deep voice.
You know who was with me? Carrick.
Oh,
Carrick
man.
was with me. Full speed, kicked. I'm like, dude, we're going to run full speed and put shoulders straight right
dude,
into it. And hit
you know
him.
what's another fucking Carlos and Phil's story that might top off the whole night. When we fucking Otis. Otis was it was your friend.
The tall black dude.
Yeah, dude, he was like half black, half Native American.
Yeah.
He was a fucking redwood, man. He's like a Marine now. He's a badass motherfucker.
Yeah, he's cool. I always liked him.
Yeah. And do you remember?
I lost contact with him.
I think I still have him on Facebook. But
really? Okay.
But do you remember what happened with him?
No.
Oh man, we went just driving to the city, just trying to look for shit to do, and we're in your little fucking the Geo Metro or whatever the fuck.
The Civic, yeah.
The Civic hatchback, and he's sitting in back, which he has to like sit sideways because he's like 7 feet fucking tall.
Yeah.
And it was right when I bought my hunting slingshot, and we fucking.
Oh, dude, the cops?
No.
Oh.
We're driving in a shitty fucking neighborhood, and there's like this Latin King party. They're fucking grilling on their front lawn, and they're like just staring us down, just giving us all these looks. And I was like, "Oh, dude, Carlos, I bought this hunting slingshot. I bought a dollar store bag of marbles, for road rage to shoot people's windows out." And I remember, dude, we almost got fucking killed because they had all these like lowriders and shit parked in front.
Yeah.
And we're driving by slow because they had one of those speed bumps,
Yeah.
And they're just all staring at us like flashing gang signs with their hands. And Otis is like, "Yo, dude, just go around again. I think I saw somebody I know." And he fucking shattered all their fucking windows, and we booked out of there.
Dude, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No. Whoa, you know what? Was that the same day where the cops pulled us over and made they made us play them a song on the guitar?
I don't remember. It might have been.
Yeah, because the fucking cops like, why are you all nervous? And I'm just sitting there thinking like we had just done some shit. We're gonna get in trouble. The cops pulled me over. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And he's like, "Oh, you play guitar?" And the guitar was in the back. And they pulled Otis out. And they said, "Oh, you know how to play?"
Which
goes,
it fucking it looks like a ukulele on his ass.
Yeah. So he came out and he was fucking playing, and he goes, "Play me a song so I can let you guys go." And we're just sitting there like, "Fuck, whatever. What do you want me to play?" And he started playing. He goes, "Hi, police officer, please don't arrest us." And the guy starts laughing. The cop starts laughing. He goes, "All right, get the fuck out of here." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know how we got away with that, but I think it was because we had just done a bunch of stupid shit all over the fucking city."
Oh, dude. Here's the grand finale story.
Dude, I was just thinking of something that was because when you were telling me that going out there with the slingshot and breaking all the windows, which like some of it sounds familiar, but I don't fucking remember it.
Oh, I remember it well. Yeah.
But Otis was kind of like crazy like that.
Yeah.
And he was a cool dude. I thought he was cool as shit, and we just kind of lost contact. But do you remember the dude, the mechanic that fucked your mom over?
Oh yeah.
The mechanic fucked your mom over, and we're just sitting there like, dude. So here's what I want to do. You came with me with this plan, like. So this guy fucked my mom over. He just did something. He overcharged her. He lied about something he did. And you're like, so I'm thinking we're gonna go over there with my fucking pellet gun, and we're just gonna pop fucking holes through all the cars that are out there, his window. And I'm thinking like, these things are gonna fucking bounce off.
Yeah.
We drove. We got to the corner. I'm just sitting there. Bah. You hear one, nothing. Bah. Another one, nothing. Then bah. Kink. Wee 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 wee. Fucking little alarm goes off. Like, oh shit. Fucking
the whole
off.
Fucking window is shattered on that third one.
Yeah. It just like it
collapsed.
It just hit the right spot. Went. It just fucking went off. We took off,
dude,
and then went around the block a few times to see if they were fucking looking for us.
Dude, you want to know something hilarious? I know that guy. I know that fucking guy. I'm not even gonna say the information.
Like you're cool with him now?
No. Like he was a family friend, but he's a piece of shit. He's an angry fucking Polak, dude. The reason, another reason why I was pissed off at him, and this is just such Polak shit.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed of myself because, so when I came back from Eastern Illinois from college, it was 2009. Nobody was hiring anywhere. So my ma was trying to call these people she knows, like, "Can you give my son a job? He's a fuck up. Like, he'll do anything. He'll fucking like whatever. Just." So she tried giving me a job there, and I was just gonna be you know how like at Jiffy Lube they just like a valet, you just pull the cars in.
Oh yeah.
So this mechanic, he had this little shit fucking local mechanic shop, right, dude?
It's still there.
Yeah, it is. I know.
I drove by it, and that's what reminded me. I was like, I fucking know this. I don't know why I know this. Like, oh, this is the fucking place,
dude. The first day, the first hour. He has me pull, and it was so he's a Polak, so he specialized in import like fucking Mercedes, Maseratis, BMWs. The first day I'm pulling in a Mercedes, and I didn't know. I thought I didn't even realize you know how like Jiffy Lube, they put your car up on the fucking lift.
Yeah.
So I thought he had a lift. I didn't even think of, because I didn't know shit about mechanics. He had a fucking guy in the hole. And I fucking drove the Mercedes and it fell into the fucking hole. And he was fucking screaming. I was like ready to cry. I'm like, no, this is my first job. He's like, how the fuck? First day, first hour, you drove a fucking Mercedes into the hole? And it's just like dangling sideways.
The guy's pinned under and shit,
yeah. The guy's like, because the guy's like ready to cry. He's like, oh, you could have killed me. What is wrong? What kind of person you hire here? And I just booked out of there. I was so embarrassed. I just fucking left. But anyways, so the grand finale story, you know what I'm talking about. Almost getting shot in Stone Park. So we go to fucking White Boy's house on 4th of July. I'm high as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my fucking I like I said, I was this hardcore punk rocker. My hair's all fucking charged. I have a leather jacket, and we're in this group of just hood rats. Yeah. You know, it's Stone Park is it's all hood rats. It's all hood that's why he's White Boy, because he was the only fucking white dude there, and he's still trailer trash, you know?
Yeah.
So it was just like I remember where I'm stoned as fuck, so and I'm like giddy. He had this like little shitty fucking out of ground pool in his backyard that he never maintained, you know? It looked like fucking aquarium water.
Stephanie was there with us.
Yeah, she was. And I just remember we're chilling there, we're getting ready to grill, and I look to my right, and there's a guy looking at me pointing a gun. I'm like, "Oh fuck." And then I drop, and you just hear, it's like, you know, I watch all these Arnold movies. I thought it was going to sound like a goddamn Desert Eagle. Yeah. It just sounded like firecrackers, you know?
Yeah.
But he shot at us like 3 times.
Yeah, we ducked behind the pool.
Yeah.
I think David was screaming, "We're calling the cops! We're calling the cops!"
Yeah.
Like, shut up, dude. He doesn't care.
It's like, dude, he's such a hard ass until fucking there's shots going at him, you know? Like, man, I can fucking beat anyone's. We're calling the cops. We're calling the authorities. We're contacting them.
But I remember while behind the pool, and I was literally trying to squeeze myself under the deck. Because he had that deck outside.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Where else am I going to go from here? It's a fucking pool. We're going to go around each other.
Oh,
like, no,
dude.
leave me alone.
Dude, I was so fucking high. And my mind was so ADD from being high that first, I'm laughing. Second, I'm thinking, man, this is a fucking great stoner story. Like this is a great story. I'm a white kid and I got shot at. Holy fuck. And then third, I just remember Stephanie's ass in front of me, and I'm like, oh, I got to sniff that. Oh god, that smells delicious. But then so then the fucking cops come, and they're just, you know, it's Stone Park, it's a shithole.
They don't give a shit.
So they just cuff everybody trying to question us. They're like, is anybody in a gang? Are you in a gang? Are you in a gang? And I'm just like, I'm the innocent white kid. Look at me. I don't even fit in here. I'm like a fucking like glitch in the Matrix. I shouldn't even be here.
We were waiting for Omar.
Yeah.
And funny enough, when he was walking around, we started noticing someone walking around, and I remember jumping the fence. I'm like, Omar. I'm looking like, oh, that's not fucking Omar. So I made nothing of it. And then I had my back to it, so I didn't even get to see the gun. I just saw you guys saying, shit, he's got a gun. And like, oh, fuck, my immediate thought was like, just drop on the ground, move around. I don't even know where he's coming from.
Yeah.
And I looked back, and that's when I saw like there was something like this. And I'm like, oh, shit, he does have a fucking gun. So I'm around the pool. David's like fucking, I don't know, over there. Like, we're gonna call the cops. We're gonna call the cops. Like, he didn't duck down, David. He was up on top of the deck behind a bush. Like, I was gonna fucking.
He's just sticking his head out with a white little flag like a cartoon.
I surrender. But yeah, I was fucking trying to squeeze myself under, and then I was hearing shit like a pop or something like that. And I remember just thinking for a minute, I'm like, man, this is not the way I want to fucking go.
Yeah.
Because this was the same fucking day that you got pulled over just a few fucking minutes prior with a fucking thing of junior cadet stickers. That was the same fucking day.
Oh god.
So the same asshole cops came out, and then if you remember, they actually drove us around the block while pointing a light in this kid's face so we can identify if it was him or not. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't even see him like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was fucking crazy. That was literally the last time.
Yeah.
Until David's mom got sick. That is the last time I went to this fucking neighborhood.
Dude, but the funniest part was that because we were waiting for the cops so long, it was like a 45-minute response because they're like, let them shoot them up each other. You know, we'll show up in a little bit.
Clean up.
Yeah. So I got a Subway sandwich because I had the fucking munchies. And I just remember they cuffed us. I'm like, I just bought a sandwich, man. And they're like, just put the fucking sandwich down. We got a question. Somebody almost got shot. I'm like, all right, whatever the fuck. And I'm eating my sandwich. They're like, no, we got to put cuffs on you. So I put my sandwich on this cop's fucking hood, and somewhere out there's dash cam footage where where they left me in front of the cop car so they can question all the fucking hood rats at his party, and I'm just eating this sandwich while handcuffed off his fucking dude. I thought I was gonna chip a fucking tooth. You know what it reminds me of? I found like a lost bulldog in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I took him in here and I was throwing him bologna slices. You
Trying
know,
to pick it up?
yeah, and you know, because they have like that underbite.
Yeah.
He's just scraping his teeth on the fucking tile. That was me on the hood of the fucking cop car. You know, just
Gotta eat, man.
"Come on, this is a spicy Italian special, man." But oh man, so I don't know. I feel like we're almost out of shit, huh?
Yeah.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
So I gotta tell you, I put this on my Instagram, but did I tell you what the fuck happened with Big J Okerson? Told you what big. Okay, so Big J Okerson is my biggest fucking. Dude, I got that Gemini ADD. You know, last year it was Louis C.K. was my favorite. 2 years ago it was Joey Diaz. Big J Okerson is like in my top 3 of the GOAT. He's such an influence for me. He's the reason why I went back into comedy, because you know what, I like for a quick brief history, like I did comedy 5 years ago. But I got so many fucking people pissed off that I was like, all right, comedy's going to shit because of this whole woke shit. Like everyone's offended. Turns out I was doing comedy in the most woke college kid venue. So like, I mean, there's you could say I like to put bread on my butter, and somebody would get offended. Somebody would have a fucking panic attack, you know. So when I started watching shit like Legion of Skanks and Bonfire with Big J, I was like, yes, there's other scumbags out there like me who have trauma and who have dark fucking humor. So I started listening to him like 2-3 years ago at work. You know, I'm a welder. I fucking listen to podcasts all day. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, when the fuck is this guy coming to Chicago? I haven't seen it. I liked him for 3 fucking years, and there's no Chicago dates. Is he getting canceled or some shit? I'm like, you know what, man? I don't give a fuck. Like, who knows what's going to happen? I want to see this guy like before, you know, maybe there's another pandemic. So I'm like, I'm going to look at the closest fucking date he has and just drive there. Turns out it was Madison, Wisconsin, Comedy on State. And I'm like, dude, I bought 2 tickets instantly. I think I offered you, but you were like busy that week.
Yeah.
And so it was, you know, what was crazy too was that like exactly the same exact date 3 years ago, I impulsively bought 2 tickets for Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Thinking my wife would go. She's like, I fucking hate him. I'm not going. So I went with my friend Cody. And then 2 years later, on the exact same date, I'm like, all right, Kelly, we're going to go see Big J Okerson. I'm no, fuck him. He's a piece of shit. And so I took Cody again. So we went out. So we drove out to fucking Wisconsin. And, dude, it was fucking hilarious. Like, so I'm like a fanboy. I'm like one of the earliest people there. So I'm like, dude, we're fucking sitting front row.
Right.
And Cody's like, dude, come on, man. Like, really? Front row? We're going to be like, our necks are going to hurt from looking up. And I'm like, no, dude, front row. You got a free ride. We're sitting front row. Because I knew that Big J does like a lot of crowd work. So I was like, I know he's going to fucking like,
Make fun of you.
Yeah, roast us or some shit. So, by the way, side note, awesome fucking show. Like, shout out to Craig Smith. I think he's a Legion of Skanks fan. I think originally he's a fucking hilarious black dude I think he's originally from Chicago, and now he lives in Wisconsin or something.
Okay.
He opened up. He was like the host. Fucking did a great job. Then the other person was Sarah Perry. She's this like. She looks like a metal chick, punk chick, good-looking blonde chick from Chicago. I didn't even know she was from Chicago. Yeah. She's like the female Big J. Hilarious. Probably my favorite fucking female comedian right now, you know? And
Sarah Perry?
Yeah, Sarah Perry. And
I'm sure I saved that.
So then Big J fucking goes on, and he's telling this story about how... So I don't know if you know, but Legion of Skanks is a DIY podcast that they started with Luis Gomez, that they do, that they control, that they run.
Yeah.
Bonfire is with Dan Soder, and it's a show on Sirius XM, so you can't say shit like cunt or whatever the fuck. You can't. There's like rules there, you know, because it's owned by Howard Stern, and he's like a
pussy,
annoying fucking little weasel, you know.
Yeah.
So they were riffing on some video about there's this guy who was getting arrested by 2 female cops, and he was like pretending to be weak and like, you know, what's the fucking word that like he's complying, you know?
Yeah.
So then they come up to him and he just bonks their heads together like coconuts, like a fucking like it's like it's Mo in the Three Stooges, you know? And then takes off and got away. So they were just riffing about how women shouldn't be fucking female cops, you know? So there was some producer or somebody at Sirius XM who's like a mega feminist who got offended by that shit. Right. She doesn't realize this is comedy, bro. You know, and so she tried to like get him canceled for it. So he's telling this whole fucking story, and he looks at me. He already ripped on the couple to the left of me, ripped on the couple to the right of me, and he's like, "Hugh, what's your name?" And I'm like, I'm like so fucking nervous. I like used my comedy name. I'm like, Wild Phil. He's like, "Yeah, you seem pretty fucking wild." It's like, "How many bitch cops do you think you can take out?" And I'm like, "Well, funny that you say that." And I go, "I don't know, 5?" Like immediately. And the whole crowd is like, "Oh, you do that? You'd hit a woman?" I'm like, "She's a cop, bro. Fuck. This is how you defund them." Yeah. So he's like, "You know what, Phil? Let me tell you something. If you take out any less than 101, you're not a real man." And I'm pretty sure he's going to tell that joke on his new special, so I may be ruining it, but because he just taped his special at Skankfest. But anyways, he fucking tells me that shit. And you know what was going through my mind? When I got beat up.
By cops, yeah.
While having a seizure, which is my other video on it. Long story short, I got my first seizure. I got way too fucking wasted, and it triggered my epilepsy, basically. And long story short, I woke up, started having a seizure. Passed out from the pain, woke up in the hospital with chipped teeth, cut scars all over my wrists, glass all over my chest. And what happened is all these fucking cops, they came into my house while I'm fucking seizing up. My friend called, Hipster John called 911. My mom's screaming because she thinks I'm going to like not be able to breathe. And they just Rodney King'd my ass. They were trying to they're saying, "Oh, this guy's overdosing," because there's all these pentagrams and upside down crosses. And I had this melted down Chucky doll with fake blood all over it.
Oh my God.
So they're like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely on drugs." My friend's like, "No, we don't do anything past weed." So what the and they're like, "No." And they pushed him out, and they basically tried to cuff me and beat me up. So I'm telling this story to Big J. I'm like, "It's funny you say, how many bitch cops can I take out?" Because actually, I had a chick cop handcuff me while having a seizure, and then I tackled her ass into a fucking mirror while I was unconscious. So the answer to how many cops can I take, I can take them out while unconscious and having a seizure and handcuffed. I'm like, they Rodney King'd my ass, and he laughed his fucking ass off. He's like, "I don't think I ever heard anybody use Rodney King as a verb," and he fucking laughed his ass, and he's like, "So you're a stand-up comedian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am," and I'm like, "Dude, here's the thing. Side note, I didn't realize I was starstruck at the time, but I was. But I was so comfortable talking. It was like talking to you, because we're on the same fucking wavelength. You know what I mean? It's not like talking to, I don't know, if I was talking to Seinfeld, I'd be like, "Am I going to offend this guy? He's above me. He feels like he's better than me." No, it was like talking to a fucking friend. We're on the same So I completely forgot, because he's like, "Oh, you're a comedian from Chicago? Well, you know, I got some dates in January in Rosemont. You know, if you want any guest spots." I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You serious?" He's like, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't know who you have to contact, but yeah, you could do some guest spots. And I was like, shit, I could have gotten his business card or contact his management. So I've been fucking trying to contact Zany's, his management. Yeah. I even talked to Sarah Perry, but it's at the same time, bro, it's kind of a pipe dream, because I'm like 4 months in. I do have a steady good 7 minutes that is polished up, but I don't know how much you have to do on a real fucking getting booked. 15 minutes? I don't know.
I don't know. Did Zany sell you?
No. You know what I heard? I had a friend of mine who used to work at that Zany's, and she said that they're not really big on guest spots, because Zany's is like the place to go. So they don't even fucking put an email up on their site, because they don't want like 20 fucking submissions every single, hour. So, but it's still a cool fucking story that I wanted to share.
Yeah.
I think that we can end it on that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think this one's longer than the last ones we did.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely pissed more than last time.
Well, that
So,
added an extra fucking hour at least.
that's how we're keeping my dick is a sundial.
There you go.
But anyways, hope you enjoy this one. Whole bunch of broy Carlos and Phil stories. That's what makes up our chemistry. You know what? We do have one story before we go. David Prattis. Fucking David Prattis.
David Prattis.
So how do you describe David Prattis? Typical Stone Park fucking cholo, right?
Yeah.
The
just
whole
kind of
get up. I mean he was like that. He was a cholo. He had fucking khaki pants.
Yeah.
Always
He was
wore a
more-
wife
yeah,
beater.
He was more like he was more his own like it's just a Mexican dude. Just a Mexican dude.
He had that low buzz cut bald.
Yeah.
That doesn't match him because he's got like chimpanzee ears, you know.
Yeah.
And he was
And
just
the little dirty mustache.
Yeah,
The little
yeah.
tiny one, yeah. Yeah, we
he looked like Pedro when he shaved his head in Napoleon Dynamite, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for Pedro.
And so what happened? so I was a huge fan of GBH.
It's GBH. So funny enough, at this show, I remember we were just trying to put together a crowd. So I think we brought him, we brought Omar, people that would never go to these fucking punk shows.
Yeah.
Ever. And it was
This hardcore fucking like British punk band, you know.
Yeah, Reggie's Rock Club.
Yeah.
Which basically allow you to do whatever the fuck you want. And we brought a bottle of Jack or something, and we were fucking just taking it down. But it was it was moving, man. Like it was fun. People were going on the stage and they were diving off, and you know there was a lot of people were moving around. It wasn't like the boring ass fucking shows you go to nowadays.
Yeah.
Where it's just like be careful. It was still energy in the shows.
Yeah.
But we took Omar, David Prattis, I think even David Dunn. People that would never they were very much like into like the hip hop scene and all that stuff. They would never go to these fucking shows.
Yeah.
And
I remember the funniest part was like we were like, yeah, we're going to this punk show, and he's the one who looked at us. He's like, yo, can I come with?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, dude, he was like
Los marihuanos aren't going to be there.
yeah,
You know?
he was enjoying it. He was fucking having fun. But me and him were drinking and we're like fucking moving around. A lot of people were jumping up on stage and diving off. I was doing the same. And we kind of lose each other every once in a while. And then I see him, he's like looking around, but he's like fucking hammered and he's got that like that David Chappelle from Half Baked Energy. I never seen so much weed in my life. Does that shit.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, where's my shoe? I can't find my shoe. And he was just walking. He had one shoe on, and the other one he had lost.
And he had like these perfect fucking like white
Air Force Ones.
Yeah, those white Jordans with the fucking strap.
Or maybe a Jordan. Yeah, I just know they were brand new fucking shoes.
Yeah.
And he's just looking around, fucking going nuts, and I kind of lose him, and then.
Well, he
I forget
fucking
about it.
I think he stage dived once, lost his fucking Jordan, and then he's like, I can't find my Jordan. Motherfuckers, get out of the way. Where's my Jordan? Where's my Jordan? There's all these punk kids just like pogoing, trying to be into the music, and he's looking for his fucking shoe.
Yeah, he's like looking around at the crowd of people.
So he jumps on stage again, finds his shoe, and then he's just stage diving with this size 13 in his hand.
Yeah,
This cholo with a fucking
bunch of fucking people are jumping off, and then you just see David like this with one shoe in his hand, like this. Diving off the fucking stage with his shoe in his hand. That fucking picture in my mind will be there vividly forever. Because he just jumped off with his fucking shoe in his hand. Like, I guess he found his shoe.
He's holding it up like it's the Holy Grail because he like don't ruin my fucking Jordans, bro. I don't want any scuffs on here.
Oh man,
your greasy white punk asses.
I told him about that shit too when I saw him.
Yeah.
He's just like, bro, I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, well. That's a good ass long episode. Hope you enjoy this. Up until next time, I don't know. We might have a special guest. We might not. Till next time, let's get wild, or let's keep getting wild, or whatever. All right, sayonara.
Work on your sign off.